hashtags are very dumb, but they work.
Yeah, I know what you mean, dude. It's
so like they're annoying to add to every video, and I do different ones depending on what it is.
Right.
But like when I look at my insights, I would say 3/4 of the videos, half of the views are from the hashtags. So
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I mean, no, it's totally believable.
I hate that they work so well.
It's totally believable though, dude. Because like there are certain hashtags that I follow. My favorite hashtags to follow though aren't the obvious ones, like the big ones. My favorite ones are the inside jokes from certain podcasts. Because
like jeans.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yep. That's a good one. Another one is.
Well, you're just watching.
Another
Segura,
one.
so.
Yeah, another one is from him. Another one is hashtag Where are the bodies?
Okay. You know, hashtag. What's another good one? I used to listen to Your Mom's House all the time.
Ah, it's still not working. I don't get it.
You could do hashtag Try It Out.
Oh my god, dude! But those are the ones I like to follow.
I have done that, and I've had people notice
hashtag Ari is a Welch. That was a great one for a long time.
There's some good ones that work for guitar. I can say like, here's a lick. You know, here it is. Try it out, and I'll do hashtag Try It Out. And I've had people I've had dudes comment on it, be like, "Oh, you're a what do they call them, mommies?" Or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've had people comment on it, like some dude from like Sweden, like posted a bunch of jeans.
That's awesome.
Yep. I was like, yeah. And he's a ripper. Actually, the guy who commented, what's his name? Can't think of his name right. John, maybe. I'm blanking on his name. No, not Kiesel. He's Swedish. He plays Solar guitars. But I can't think of his name right now because I don't talk to him that often. But
weren't you sponsored by Solar?
No, Kiesel. No, before that was mayonnaise.
That's who it was.
Mayonnaise.
I like a little mayonnaise, but not too much now.
Yep, they're
too
good.
Much mayonnaise, it's not good. But
like
a little bit of mayonnaise is great.
I like their guitars were great. Just.
Yeah, we talk
about
how much do we want to rehash? Because I left that podcast up. On YouTube.
One more beer and I'll naturally rehash anyway.
So I left that up on YouTube, never uploaded it to the audio side. But then once the next episode was about to happen, I put that one unlisted. And to explain people, which by the way, thank you for coming back down. I really appreciate it, man, because last time there was some technical tomfoolery that was going on, and I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. I later realized it's because there was something goofy going on, and I actually just realized I'm doing it again. It was this weird combination of me having too many programs on at the same time, and then we were on Wi-Fi for some reason. I had switched to my Wi-Fi network instead of hardwired, and I never do that. So I must have had a reason to do it, and the only thing I can think of is I was trying to airdrop myself something from my phone to my computer. It's the only reason I could possibly think of. Nonetheless, it just set off a chain reaction of upload speed and then this backlogged cache of bullshit. I ended up just basically having to clean out my computer, clean all my cookies, restart my modem, literally everything from the ground up, and then we haven't had the issue again since.
Good.
But I didn't realize how bad it was. Please don't say that. Why would you even put that out there? No, but
I don't know. Is this real wood? Yeah, that's wood, right? That's wood.
I didn't realize how bad it was until I looked at the 2 episodes that had happened to back to back.
Everyone who I talked to who watched it were like, "Well, it was fine." My parents
probably watched it after we were done. So then they don't even notice it.
Oh, it just kind of goes right to the next part?
Okay. Yep, it's almost like we edited it. They don't know if we edited out 30 seconds or 30 minutes.
No, I think they watched it live, but they must have caught a part where it didn't cut out too bad. And when they told me they watched it, I was like, shit, what did I talk about? Like anything that you'd be like, Michael, my mom.
Well,
I don't think it was fine. I don't think we.
It sucked because it was actually a good podcast. We did a really good job of kind of telling your story because a lot of people in this town know who you are, but a lot of people don't. Because you're kind of like me. You're a little bit OG. You're a little bit old school. But at the same time,
I'm a transplant.
Yeah, you're a transplant, and you've built a way bigger name for yourself online than you did as a local live badass dude in a X band and Y band. Well, you have a resume there.
Yeah. Well, I stopped doing it, and then I switched to the online thing because that's what I wanted to do. Because like when I first moved here, I played in a bunch of bands, and I didn't do it really. I did a minimal YouTube stuff at the time, but I did it. I did do YouTube stuff, and but my main goal was like gig around town. But I was gigging in music that wasn't like my natural habitat. Like there was definitely stuff I grew up on within like the scene in Minneapolis, like the commercial music scene, like the kind of Prince sound and all that stuff. Like there's plenty of it that I did grow up on, but like that's what I grew up on listening to with my dad, but barely. Like, I mean, the closest I would get to that is maybe like Doobie Brothers and like maybe like Eagles and maybe like stuff like that. Boston. But Doobie Brothers being the more, or like even like Steely Dan. But like that, I have friends in town who, I mean, that's their bag, and they like love all that stuff. Like they love Prince and they love Steely Dan. And I mean, not in the way that I like it, in the way like they like are actual huge fans. And I was always like a metalhead in high school. But those bands I mentioned were the stuff that my dad showed me when I was a kid. So when I first moved here, I was trying really hard to like almost like fit in, like, oh, if I want to be a gigging musician, I need to play these styles. So, I know how to do this stuff. Like I grew up, some of the first songs I ever learned were Doobie Brothers songs, and people.
No, I remember exactly having to like literally hanging out with music because I wasn't old enough to gig out. Starting at 12, 13 years old, it was like, if I want to jam with these guys, I have to learn how to play Leonard Skinner and do these simple,
and I knew all that stuff.
But like
I was into metal, so I was like, when I first went to college, I did 2 years before I moved here. That was my first realization of like, I should really know how to play blues and jazz. And at the time, the most blues I had been exposed to was like blues rock. Like maybe the bands I mentioned earlier were like the closest thing. I wasn't playing actual blues. But when I went to school,
like what I was just saying, like the Leonard Skinner's.
I mean, not even that. I mean, like real blues, like.
That's
just
what I'm saying.
knowing
Leonard
what the
Skinner
blues
isn't
form,
real blues.
Yeah, like knowing what the blues form is, knowing the blues language.
Leonard Skinner was rock based on
like
blues
B.B.
progressions.
King and they're like that was like Southern rock. But I messed around with that when I was a kid. But so when I moved here, I was trying really hard to play in bands that were playing all the stuff that was getting you paid. So I did that from 2009 to like, I don't know, man, probably not until recently, actually, almost probably 15 or 16. And then I was teaching at McNally.
It's weird how we used to have to say like 2002. I know. And now we're far enough in where we go 09 to 16.
Yeah, I know.
It just sounds so weird. Back in 84.
So, and then somewhere along the way, maybe when I was teaching at McNally, I felt like I was teaching there a lot, teaching a lot of my own lessons. So I kind of felt like, a lot of my income is coming from lessons. I dive into the world of stuff I kind of left behind. I was always huge into fusion, jazz fusion. I was huge into like progressive metal. So I'd say like maybe 15.
Yes, flute.
Yes, flute. Like 2015 is kind of when I like was like started gigging and stuff less and started doing online stuff way more and started kind of focusing my energy towards that. And after I met Charlie was actually a big factor in that. Charlie Engen, who plays with Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah, we talked about Charlie. I met Charlie.
Yeah,
right?
You did. So when I met him,
and just for the record, he's not the original drummer from Five Finger. Correct.
Yep. So when I met him, I saw him play and I was like, Jesus, I have never seen like a metal drummer play like he plays in town. So one of the reasons I stopped with metal is because like it was really hard to find musicians who were good, who were killing, who played it. And I saw Charlie, and I was like, we should start a band. Like, we should start something. And then I kind of just kept going that direction. But before that, I'd say half my time here, I've been here for 11 years, was 21, 12 years. Yeah, 12 years.
So you got here in 09?
So I'd say half of my time.
So you got here in 09.
Yep.
So you got here the same time Brett Favre got here.
Did I? Was that the same year? You're going back and forth. Oh, it's going back and forth.
Don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, I was like, and I thought you were doing that, like with a controller underneath
the table. I used to have to do it over here.
So I thought you were like, but anyway, so I had it half the time. I think half my time here, I was really focused on playing locally, and then I kind of just stopped. I would like to get back into it because I do miss it, and I do have a lot of buddies who do it. It's just there's that part of me that's like I have to learn all that music that I've forgotten at this point.
You also have to invest your time,
a lot of time, invest
in people
into
that you believe in to make it worth it. So like, even if, because we have this conversation a lot, right? So even if you're not in it, which we'll get to, you are in it to make money. Okay, so you do.
Well,
you
I have
went
to
to
be.
school for this.
I have to be.
Well, that's how we all need to be thinking, though, because most of us aren't. There's too many musicians that come on this podcast and they're like, "I'm not in it for the money. I do it because I love music." No. Stop. Where I'm coming from is that's why you do music.
I would not.
Like the reason you do music is because you love it.
Yeah, and now it makes me money, and I have to figure out how to leverage the music to pay my bills. And that's why I upped my rates for lessons and stuff we just talked about.
And that's the point I'm getting at. You went to school for this. You did lessons. You're in bands. You play for your church. You have an Instagram presence where you do videos and things like that and playthroughs. You've monetized your skill set and personality. More of us need to think like that. But point being is you want to get back into the idea of jamming with some musicians.
Right. I do miss that.
But again, let's just pretend for the sake of argument, you're not saying you want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
For money. Let's say you want to do that just for fun.
Right.
Okay. So it's a hobby band. Okay. Well, you still have a limited amount of time to invest into this hobby band. So you want that band instinctually to be as great, not as good, but as great as it possibly can be. So who is also going to honor the fact that, listen, Mike's not joining this band to fucking go on tour for 9 weeks at a time. Mike's joining this band because he wants to dabble and have some fun, but is still going to bring their A game and priorities to practice, rehearsals, and all of those things. So who can you find that's good enough, but at the same time chill enough?
Right.
Like me? No. Like, if I'm in that group, I'm like, listen, I also want to monetize my personality. So even an original act, I need to make money at. We got to make a profitable act.
So for me, at the least, with certain groups, well, actually, no. So when I say get back to that, I do mean like actually getting hired to sub and do gigs and get paid for the gigs. Like, so like we're talking like before COVID hit, I actually was taking sub gigs, and I was taking them with there was a guy in town that was hiring me to do some gigs and a couple other friends, and I was sitting in and kind of actually getting back into it before COVID, when I was kind of out of it more. I was getting back into it, and I was gigging and getting paid. That's what I meant when I said that. But there are the situations where I just talked to two buddies, and I was like, hey, we should start a 3-piece, like a metal 3-piece. Let's do like a kind of like a more, I don't even, like a more singing style of like Gojira or something, like if I were to narrow it down. And they are great guys. They're great players. And they were like, oh yeah, cool. Is it going to be serious? And I'm like, oh, it'll just be for fun. But I know in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm going to want to do stuff with this. Cause like,
well, especially with the platform you built, why not leverage it? Why not push it as far as it can go, right?
With that stuff, because I also have a fusion trio with a couple buddies. We don't gig, but at the least, we do go to IPR, do the free sessions, film them, and then get the tracks. And I put it. So it's like, at the least, if I can get some great video content out of it, that's a win for me, because then I can share that over and over and over again. I can put it on my Instagram. I can put it on my YouTube. Instagram one especially, because if I have a full video of a full song, break that thing into like 10 chunks and share it periodically, and
like 10 30-second chunks.
Yeah, and
theoretically,
I'm at the point now with my
or even 10 40-second chunks, whatever.
Yeah, I'm at the point now with the Instagram, which I'm super happy it's finally kind of here. If I post consistently, like every day, which I haven't been good at, it does snowball and snowball and snowball and snowball. Like, so
now, is that one post a day?
One post a day. So if I do that, if I stick to that, no matter if it's video or pictures, if I just pick something and go for it, and make it like a thoughtful thing, like where it's not just like me being like, and then even those kind of stuff. But if I do it consistently, I usually hit 30 to 50 followers a day. If I do that, which sounds, what's the word? It sounds kind of like, oh, like I'm just want the followers. But the reason I want them is because I get people will buy my CD. People will sign up for lessons. People will get led to other stuff that I do or whatever. That's the whole, it's like the means, it's the whole goal. It's not about followers. It's about people being interested in the stuff that I do so that I can make money off that. Oh, you giving me one? Oh, thank you, sir. You got a Natter Day in there.
Oh, sorry. No, these were both for me.
Oh,
did you want one?
Yeah. You have to chug the first one though. But so at the least, so when those couple buddies were like, well, we just kind of, if we do it for fun, and in my mind, I'm like, that's actually fine, because like, you guys want to play gigs? Yeah, we'd play some gigs. Cool. Well, then that's great. Let's do that, because we can film those. You guys, like, we can record, like. That's all. It's crazy now. It's like you can have a band that's just for fun, and you can leverage it, and then you make a lot of content out of it.
Exactly, and and there's so many. Yeah, it basically just comes down to guys or gals, I guess. In our case, guys usually in our town. There's a lot of really talented female musicians, but compared to how many, literally, if you just go per capita, it's like. Oh my God!
One metal,
probably 100.
Metal especially.
It's probably 100 women to every 10,000 dudes in this town. Like, and there's a lot of really talented female musicians. The ratios are just off.
Yeah, no, I'd say it depends on the style. It depends on the style of music.
Either way,
metal is definitely like. There's more dudes who are doing it, because like when I play at church,
maybe I'm even just trying to be too PC.
But like when I play at church, we have really great musicians, and I would say it's what 30-70. I almost did that math. 30-60. Last 10%.
I thought you were going to say 36%.
Yeah, 36%.
I didn't think you were going to go 30-60. I thought you were saying 36.
I'd say out of the 6-piece band, there's usually 2 or 3 girls.
But are they killer. Like? That's what I was just going to.
Killer.
But
I mean,
are they killer? Because I'm not just saying how many female musicians are in this town, because that's probably equitable to the amount of male musicians in this town.
Yep.
But for every 10,000 banger ass dudes in this town, there's probably 100 banger ass chicks in this town. Because I've been in this town a long time.
It depends on the style of music.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, because like metal, you're definitely like it's gonna be mostly guys.
There's definitely way more chicks. Like out of that 100, 90 of them are in rock.
Well, yeah,
for sure that I've witnessed.
Well, like the like Minneapolis
maybe
of like commercial music
is a bit much.
Like there's Bella Diva, who like they have a phenomenal.
I'll back it off. I'll make it reasonable. 10 to 1. 10 to 1 ratio. So for every 1,000.
Like I'll back it up 100 to 1. 1,000 to 1.
10 to 1. So kidding. Every 100 female badass musicians in this town, there's 1,000 dudes. That's what I'll say.
Okay. I don't know.
Because I'm telling you, I've only probably seen like 100 chicks in this town truly slay.
Yeah, I suppose
90 of which were in rock and roll versus metal.
I suppose it depends not only on the genre, but also the instrument.
Yeah.
Like probably not a lot of chick drummers. I've met
actually a lot of the chick musicians I know are drummers.
Oh, see, where I think
they ball.
See, we're indifferent because I know more like bass, and then obviously a lot of strings.
I know a couple chicks who can rip on bass, and a couple who are pretty good guitar players. A lot of singers.
A lot of singers, but also a lot of like classically trained. Like I played with the. We did
and I'm not being chauvinistic. Don't
No.
even start that shit, you guys. I'm not doing that. I'm just acknowledging numbers and actual stats. I'm not saying women are less.
Oh,
it's don't even fucking try to do that shit.
Well, it's just
Some
more
of
of like
sensitive ass motherfuckers.
It's more of like it's just. I would rather. I mean, you know, it'd be. I could care less if there's more dudes or more girls or whatever. As long as you're a killing player, that's all that kind of matters. But like,
and that's the thing is music is very. Oh my god! Can you do me a favor? Can you kick that? Turn that.
This?
Yeah, I fucked that up. Yeah, much better. Yeah, now I just got to do one of these bad boys. Hold on.
All right.
That's much better. Yeah, no, in this industry, no one cares whether you're a guy or a girl. They really... I joke that I would never be in a band with a girl again because of the logistical nightmare of it, because I understand that women have greater needs. So, like, they need access to their own facilities at times. Well, because they have other things going on that we don't, and you have to respect that, because I grew up with a family of women and cousins and sisters and aunts, and you know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm getting at? Like,
I mean, I'm sure
it's
a girl
just a logistical nightmare when bands can't afford it.
Well,
and
I don't know.
When the band pops, the chick gets more attention than the other band members, not just because she's the singer in the situations I've been in, but because she's a chick. So then all of a sudden you get known as the band with the chick singer, and it's too gimmicky, and it's too much of a nightmare unless it's her band, and then we'll just name the band after you. You know what I mean? And then it's just like, no, we're just going to be in the Michelle Salow band, and that's
my cousin. I do have a cousin named Michelle Salow.
No shit. So that's the band name, Michelle Salow, and that's just what it is. Like, we're just going to lean into that from the beginning. We're not going to try to create No Doubt and deal with Gwen Stefani.
I didn't want to lean back.
Oh, you're getting tired of the rocking?
I got it. No, because I was like, no. I mean, it just, like I said, like.
If the Salow chairs are rocking,
I know. I think
you see what I'm saying though.
Yeah,
like lean into it and make it like empower your band with it. So you are Gwen Stefani. Just start. Don't try to pretend you're No Doubt, because like once you pop, everyone, no one cares about you as a band. It's all about Gwen.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I don't know, like, I don't really...
That's what I meant by that, why I would never start a band, like, where we're, like, a normal band with a chick singer. No, we're just gonna name it after her. Just lean into it from the beginning. It
depends on the style of music. Again, like, I'm not gonna... It's gonna be hard to just find a chick singer who's into metal, but maybe not. I mean, I guarantee there's girls who are gonna...
They're all over the place.
Would argue that...
Or even rock.
Well, because...
Or even pop.
Because I think about... the local scene, like,
I actually think the less heavy the music, the more applicable the argument is.
I would disagree.
So like the less heavy, right? So the closer you get to pop, the more this makes sense. So Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears.
Oh, you're saying like as in more, you'd see more girls involved.
Not only do you see more girls involved, but you also see people leaning into the fact that they have a female-fronted act. And so they just name it after the girl. So in pop, you just do that. That's the female. That's the lead singer. That's the star. That's the artist. The band is irrelevant. Yeah. Lean into that. Clear and obvious in pop. More rock and metal bands should be looking towards that, because it's a better marketing gimmick than trying to be a Paramore, where no one knows the name of any band member in that band except for Hayley Williams, the singer. You see what I'm saying? Which is true for most bands. But when Paramore was coming up, and you would go, hey, have you heard this band Paramore? And people would be like, is that the band with the chick singer? The tiny little orange-haired girl? And they'd be like, yeah, gotcha. See what I'm saying? So it becomes part of your marketable identity, and instead of fighting that with a band name to where you have an artist, same thing with No Doubt, you have an artist like a Hayley Williams or a No Doubt, where they later feel they need to go off into a solo career, which both have done.
Yep.
You just name your band Hayley Williams or No Doubt, or I'm sorry, Gwen Stefani from the beginning, and then the band never breaks up. It just continues to evolve with her artistry because she's clearly going to be the star from day one. Lean into that. Don't pretend you're a rock band or a metal band. Acknowledge what you're doing. Lean into her stardom and her equity. Invest in that. And then there's never a point where the band breaks up because she's going to do a solo career.
Yeah, but
you see what I'm saying?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't think
it's kind of like seeing the bigger picture of it.
I also don't think these bands that were doing that are like they're wanting to start a band, because there's plenty of people who like start a career.
Don't do it with the chick lead singer. That's what I'm saying. Because eventually, if you blow up, you're gonna have Hayley Williams
in this
or Gwen
moment,
Stefani on your.
In this moment, you know, is that
didn't she start that band? Isn't
what about
that the
Arch
difference?
Enemy? Arch Enemy, like you know.
Also, didn't she start that band?
No,
Isn't
she's not the original singer anymore.
Okay.
Arch Enemy, different singer.
Fair.
Or like OTEP, or.
See, and again, so what I'm saying is it gets less true the heavier you get. See what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So the closer you get to pop, the more this makes sense. If you're looking at it like a scale.
Yeah, I mean, the closer you get to commercialized, like doing very well pop.
Sure.
I think locally, in a local stage, I don't even think about it. Like there's just so many local great
Fighting Tongs.
No, I'm not thinking of like.
No, I'm throwing this, and I'm not arguing with you. I'm just throwing. I'm thinking this through like a thought experiment. I'm throwing this example out there. Fighting Tongs, right?
I don't know.
They were a great high level local band. Jordison goes on American Idol or The Voice or whatever the fuck. Now she's a solo act. She went on tour with Dave Navarro. She's incredible. So if the band Fighting Tongs would have realized, hey, you know what? She's the star. Let's just be her band. Then you see what I'm saying? Then each individual risks being fired because they can't hack it anymore on the national level. But at the same time, the band stays together, and there's one vision the entire time. But when you start as the Fighting Tongs or No Doubt or Paramore and the band blows up, your female singer goes to go on to do bigger and better things on her own.
Yeah, I just don't think that's mutually exclusive, because like there's plenty of bands that's happened with who have guy singers.
True.
Like,
very true.
Look at
good point. Sir.
I mean, it's happening.
Well played.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that comeback.
Yeah.
And I am prepared. But go ahead.
So, because
go ahead.
I guess I don't think about it.
Shout out to Zach Bradford or Brawford. Sorry.
Zach Brawford. Hey, buddy.
Shout out to Zach Brawford in chat.
So, because like Zach would attest to this too. Plenty of like talented girls I've played with, like I don't even think about it. I'm sure if you talk to them, they'd say, "Oh yeah, like I feel marginalized from like in the gigging world. Like I kind of feel like this or feel like that because it's just like at McNally Smith. It was like the guitar department was all dudes, and well, we did have one girl, but it's such a saturated with dudes that we just like we stick out like a sore thumb. And it's hard for like, I don't know, there's so many of us. And then, I don't know, it's such a weird topic.
Yeah, and by the way, what I'm referring to is only applicable
in like the very
to
commercial.
Female singers.
Well,
like not female guitar players or drummers or a band member.
But I think you're thinking in the like very commercial, like doing big shit type. Because like as far as it being locally,
and definitely
it's not that, it doesn't work that way. Because I know a lot of bands that are fronted by girl singers and it's just the way it is, and it's not. They're not named after the girl or the guy. It's a band.
But maybe they should be, is what I'm arguing.
I think if that's their choice,
if you have a female singer who is an absolute star in the making from day one, be humble enough as band members. I'm saying so.
I'm also saying cover bands too. So that's a different.
That's
thing.
A huge difference. That is not even. I don't even consider that the music business, dude. I consider that a whole. That's the entertainment business.
Right.
That's like professional WCW wrestling versus like the UFC. Right. So like when we talk about the fight game, right? We're talking about boxing, we're talking about kickboxing, UFC, Muay Thai, ninjutsu. We're talking about like fighting, right? That's the fight industry. And then you have the entertainment industry, which is the WWE, which is like a degree off of. That's what cover bands are to me, right? So you have like real musicians, and I don't mean to say this way, but it's the only way I can explain it without talking for an hour. And then you have cover bands, which are like the entertainment business next to the actual music business, because they have to be great at their instruments, but they ain't writing shit. There's no how do I explain this? There's no risk. Like, you just have to be good. Like, the songs are already proven. You just got to perform them. There's no risk.
I see what you're saying in the no risk.
There's, as being a musician, you're expressing, like, when I say
it's
this,
like teaching lessons at Guitar Center or starting your own thing and teaching them on your own. There's a lot of risk to go do that on your own, but there's big rewards if you can do it better. It's kind of similar. Maybe it's a little bit different, but I'm relating it to my world.
No,
because
sure.
Guitar Center, you'll get $15 a half hour. Go teach on your own, you can make 30, 40 a half hour.
Or you can make 0 a half hour.
Exactly.
That's the
real
risk. That's the real risk.
Yep.
Right. But when you're a songwriter, when you're an original musician,
because Guitar Center is going to bring them on in.
You're putting your soul out there. You're putting yourself out there to be criticized, especially as a singer, but even as a guitar player, especially if you're the only guitar player in the band. Every guitar player, when they listen to you, you're the one they judge, because there's only one of you. And though every guitar player judges other guitar players. That's what we do. If you're a singer, huge. If you're a drummer, huge. You put yourself out there to be criticized based on what you are writing, and those are versions and literally telescopes into your soul as an original musician. Whereas a cover band, if I tell you suck, it's because you fucking suck. Like, it's not because the song you're playing sucks. Because that song is a top 40 song. That's why you're a cover band. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's no risk there into your heart and soul. It's just your skill. That's like me telling you, you're a terrible framer. You don't go home feeling like a bad person or worthless. You just go, fuck, I guess I got to pay more attention to framing and measuring. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but as an original musician, when people criticize, and you understand this because you've written music and people have criticized you. Well, I want to get into that in a second.
I get just as...
It's different. I don't consider cover bands to be the real music industry. That's my only point here, because they're not performing their own art. They're performing somebody else's art, which is a performance. It is entertainment. It's part of the music business, but they don't... When they get accolades... They get half the accolade because they're getting accolades on the performance, even though they didn't write it. When they get criticized, it's only on their performance, not because they wrote it. When you're an original musician, it's the whole pie. It's everything.
Yeah, but I would argue that if someone says this song sucks after I show them a song of mine, and someone says you played very bad when I played in a cover band, I'm going to feel about the same, to be honest. I'd be like, fuck. Because if it depends on the medium. Like, if it's online and they're like, this is stupid, I'm like, you're fuck off. Like, you're just some internet person.
Yeah, all you do is shred.
Yeah, dude, I told you about that.
No, I commented on that.
Dude,
that's where
that
we
fucking
didn't
guy,
get into a spat or
well,
anything,
he didn't
but
say
like
that.
I was
he
fucking
said,
with you a little bit.
I know. He said 99% of you guys on here just shred. It's so boring, or it's so annoying, or something. And I was like, first off, I was like,
I can almost quote
I can
you
do
if you can't
more
remember
than
what
that.
you said.
My brain was like, I can do more than that. Like, and
I can quote you. You were like, first off, that's not true. There's plenty of guys on here that don't shred, including me.
Yeah.
And what else did you say?
I don't remember.
Now I forget the quote.
He said I don't know. It was something weird because the thing I get that randomly, and people get it all the time. It's just some stupid person, and the thing is like, you just commented on someone you don't know, you've never met me, you've never seen anything else I do, you just saw this one video. And I do post a lot of shreddy stuff because, to be honest, that gets me more follows, it gets me more students, it gets me more likes. When I post like something nice and bluesy or something like more
do they
riffy,
realize that I
don't get as much.
See, and this is what I'm saying.
And I do all that stuff.
Those type of haters, though, don't realize you're doing a whole thing. Like, you're not just trying to put yourself out there. You're trying to promote your businesses and your projects. And
exactly.
This is where I came to your defense, is I was like, not only is that guy wrong that you only shred, but there's also not a market, and we're actually still in kind of a debate about this. There really isn't a good market on Instagram for just a tight rhythm guitar player who can play in the pocket like me.
I gotta show you guys. Gotta follow him. His name's Dan, and I can't remember his last name, but different type of riffs than what you would play, but only riffs. Dan. Shit. Is it? Oh, McNally. Dan McNally. He's from the UK.
Is his mom's name Mary Smith?
No. McNally Smith. No. That's funny. His name's McNally. So
such a deep cut from the prior podcast. No one's gonna get our little inside joke. We should just start a hashtag McNally.
So
Smith.
he does like.
Put it right up on it.
Stuff he posts all the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's genty shit, though.
I know it's modern.
Like,
but it's just this.
Is it videos?
He's younger. He's younger than me.
How many views is he getting?
He's got more followers than I do. He's got 26,000 followers.
But that's all he does is rhythm stuff.
Just
like that?
rhythm stuff like that. But he's like super into it, and he's like. But he has sick guitars, he has sick riffs. I'm not huge into like, so I like some of the gent stuff, but like it is like everyone does it now, which is sometimes when I listen to his riffs, I'm like, oh, his riffs are cool, like, and he has great tone, great feel, so I like it. But then when I hear like a million other guys do it, I'm like, okay, like I've heard it, which brings me to another stupid comment. That really heavy one that Al plays on, would you see that? To me is not gent. That to me is
put
like,
it up. Let's argue about it.
That to me is
we're gonna play it. Let's do this.
There's one riff that maybe has that.
But let's play it.
Well, I gotta pee. I'll pee and you do that. But let me explain first before you play it.
Yeah, no. Set it up. But let's do this. Let's. I want to set this up. We're gonna play this, and the question you're about to ask, explain. You can do
explain the story,
and you guys decide. So in the comments, tell us what you think. That's my whole point is, so everybody that has joined us, I know we haven't really gotten into any of the chat shit, but
so here's what happened. So it's not even that big of a deal. I didn't care at all. So there's one riff in the middle that's kind of I would say maybe Meshuggah inspired a little bit.
I feel like just back in the day we would have just said it's a breakdown,
right? But it's not. This is not a breakdown. It's just it's notey, and it's just a straightforward, like the kick's just going. It's just like triplet thing, and anyway, the whole song is just kind of more metal. Like there's a lot of double kick. There's a lot of like blast beats. It's more like almost like death metal influenced with some melody stuff. Anyway, this one riff. I posted it, and then it went into like Al's solo, and someone goes, I hate gent, or like something like that, or like, oh, gent is so stupid, or I hate something like that. Some guy posts like commented, and I just was like, I just put LOL because I was like, it's not like it's not where that's coming from. Like this whole song is like influenced from like kind of my death metal stuff I'm into, and that one riff, it kind of just went there.
Because it made sense.
It made sense, and it like felt cool, and I like it. And it's like I like Meshuggah stuff. I don't know. I like a lot of different stuff. I like Periphery. I like Meshuggah, but I also like Necrophagus, like crazy, like Tech Death. I like Death, that band. I like fucking like old shit, like old like popular stuff, like old Megadeth and old Metallica, and I like Slipknot. Oh, which speaking of, we need to talk about that. Joey Jordison passed away.
What?
He died. It's all over the internet.
Like today?
Just today.
What?
How have you not seen this? It's all over my Instagram.
Because I haven't been online today because I've been working.
Joey Jordison
I've been getting
away.
ready for this fucking podcast, bro.
Dude.
I've been posting today.
I listened to Slipknot on the whole way over because I saw it and I was like, oh, I like jammed Slipknot on the way over.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That totally changed the topic.
Dude, this is a fucking... Dude, my grandpa just died.
Oh, no shit. I'm sorry, man.
Well, he's my step-grandpa, so I actually am, like, not close to him at all.
Okay.
But I knew him, and I liked him, and I respected him a fuckload, dude. Like, good dude. His son is technically my stepdad, but he's my dad because I have a father, a biological father that I also know, but he's my dad. That motherfucker, like 3-4 weeks ago now, had a fucking aneurysm. Ooh. Went into the hospital. They discovered a second aneurysm that hadn't blown yet. And then, and I still don't have a clear picture of this, but right before, during, or after the surgery, he had several strokes, suffered brain damage, fell into a coma, fucking still isn't out of the coma, may not walk again, like went as bad as possible. And then just Sunday or Saturday, fucking his dad passed away.
Oh.
And it's, dude, this is all super recent. And now Jordison died. Fucking Eddie just died.
He had some neurological disorder, I guess. Jordison.
But Eddie Van Halen just died. Yeah. Like, man, these last couple of years have been fucking crazy. Hard on because Joey Jordison, man, and I'm just like experiencing this in retrospect, like, or not in retrospect.
Dude, you could ask me when I was a kid.
Real time, I guess I could say. Joey Jordison was a game changer as a drummer. Wow, man, this is fucked.
If you asked me when I was younger, like, who's the best drummer you've ever heard? When I was like 18, I'd have been like, Joey Jordison, best drummer on the planet. Because I was so into that stuff.
He immediately got thrown into the top of the heap. That's how good he was. From as soon as Slipknot blew up, worldwide,
everyone was like, Joey Jordison.
People were like, when we have these conversations, Mount Rushmore of this instrument, Joey Jordison is going to be brought up on a regular basis by a lot of people.
Especially in metal, yeah.
Especially in metal, but any real drummers who understand and study all drummers, you know, so maybe it's a jazz drummer who like be like, man, I remember Joey Jordison fucking, he may be metal, but that dude can fucking slam. He was so good. When he filled in for Metallica.
I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, dude.
I thought he filled in for Korn.
He filled in for both.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
He became the full-time drummer for Korn.
So he had some neurological disorder pop up like right before he quit Slipknot, and like I guess since 18, I didn't know this. Since 2018, he's like not been able to like walk or play drums. That's what it said on the report. Like he's had this neurological disorder that like fucked his legs. I had no idea. I thought he just wasn't in the band anymore because he's Joey Jordison. He can fucking play with anyone. I had no idea. He died in his sleep. It was, I guess he just, you know, from his, like, some neurological disorder.
That's fucking heavy, bro.
Isn't that crazy? I had no idea. I just thought he was off doing shit because he's a fucking awesome drummer so he can play with anyone. So I just, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just like, oh, he's just playing with this band or playing with that band. Had no idea he was going through that shit. It's like,
it's brutal, man. These last couple of years have taken a heavy toll on us all, man.
Yep. In that,
because society just lost a big fucking artist in Joey Jordison. So it's not just, you know, like, it's not just the surface level shit. Like the collective loses a big voice, you know, and that hurts everyone, dude.
I hate to cut this here, but I do have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna play this song. Sorry to hit it on a sad note, but in the second part when Al Joseph kicks in and tell us if you think it's gent. Do you have
right before he kicks in? It's before his solo.
Do you have like a time range?
I have no idea. You'll see it.
It's the
like
first one.
It's right? Like the breakdown that comes after one of the solos. It's like the one part of the song that has no solos.
I think I know what part you're talking about. You going upstairs?
metal, metalcore, and death metal. Like
I feel like if somebody
the nodiness of death metal, it's the breakdowniness of metalcore, and it's like the open.
We're back on. Yeah, jump on that bad boy.
And it's like when I hear that, but you know, it's a horrible term for horrible people.
I think it's a bad. I think it's a short-sighted. It's like the equivalent of going like this. This movie sucked because the CGI looked fake. It's like, okay, fucking, that's deep, bro. Like, that's, you know, or you go, oh, that movie's terrible because the writing's bad.
It's almost like, no, it's like, even worse than that.
Why is the writing bad?
I feel like it's even worse than that.
Give
It's
me
like
a real, actual example instead of just like taking this low end. Okay,
it's almost like saying, I hate
bad.
Action movies. Action movies suck. More like that. Action movie sucks. Action movies suck. I can't say that. Or like
action
saying
movies suck.
Or like saying sci-fi movies suck. Because it was like a genre he picked and said this sucks, and I'm like, well, it's not even that. What are you talking about? It's
right, because you did something in space.
Right,
that would be the idea.
That's exactly right. It's like
you did
watching
something
a movie
in space and then said for a scene of a movie, and then somebody goes, "Sci-fi movies suck."
And it's like this isn't a sci-fi movie. That's a better example.
There's one scene in space,
or there's a couple scenes in space. It's like that's not a sci-fi movie. What are you talking about? Like that's a better.
That's a great analogy.
It's like that. It's like, well, you watch the one scene of the movie, but at the same time, it doesn't really bother. I mean, I don't get enough of that. Like, I get not much people saying stupid shit.
That's so funny.
Which is lucky, because I know, like, I have other buddies who get a lot of people saying stupid shit. Yeah. And speaking of Al, who's in there?
Shout out to Al Joseph.
Al
on Instagram.
Does not take the shit. I mean, I've seen him on multiple occasions just go off in his story and not give a shit that he is calling the person out. He doesn't necessarily say the person's name. He directs his whatever. Like, how would you say it? He doesn't say the person's name. He just basically says what happened and says, this fucking asshole like said this or blah blah blah. Like there was one guy, I remember one specifically where he posts a lick. Al, who's a monster of a player, posts a lick and he says, "Hey, learn this pentatonic lick," or something like that. It was something like that. Learn this pentatonic lick on my site. I don't remember what it was, but someone said, "That's not a pentatonic lick. You played this note and this note also," or something stupid like that. And he was like, dude, like, shut the fuck up. He was like, who's the teacher? He's like, it's basically pentatonic. Like, the majority of the thing was a pentatonic. Like, so someone got smart and was like, well, it's not totally pentatonic. There's like one or two extra notes. And someone got smart ass. And then he like went off on his story and like called the dude out and just went for a while. And he's like, you're in my classroom. Like, it's so good because I don't have the balls to do that. I'm more the type of guy who's like, someone says, oh, all you do is shred. And I go, well, here's more shred. Fuck you. And just post a shreddy video. Funny thing about that video that you because I posted the next one, I was like, well, someone told me I shred too much, so here's me proving them wrong. And I did some crazy, stupid shred thing.
But it didn't start that way. You were like doing something kind of sweet and sexy.
It did. No,
you did a little something sassy, and then all of a sudden you just like within 2 seconds, 3 seconds, because you didn't start off with like a sweep.
The video that I posted in a rebuttal to him was straight. It was just taps the whole time. The original video he posted on was what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And the one I did as a rebuttal, like just to be like whatever. It was me just tapping and doing like 4-finger tap, whatever. And it was just some stupid, overtly over the top shredding thing. And then
there's a difference between shredding and noodling, though.
Well,
like you shred, I don't feel like you noodle.
Well, it was me doing an exercise that was playing 3 notes in this hand, 1 note in this hand, and it was just like it was just like continuous like 30-second notes. The one as a rebuttal, as a joke. And then everyone commented on it, and then one guy goes, hey bro, you're just kind of proving his point here. And I wanted to say, no shit? Like What? Like, how did you? So I was like, I wanted to be a dick, and I was like, exactly. Like, I was being sarcastic is all I wrote, but I wanted to be like, yeah, I wanted to be like, no shit. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you like over your head, like, because like I don't know, man. It's funny when like I've seen this a bunch of times on Instagram where like someone will make a joke and someone will be like, you're just doing what you say, and it's like, yeah, they're being sarcastic. Yeah, like how do you not?
That's why it's funny.
How do you not read the sarcasm? But I guess if I'm being a little more easier on them, it could be someone who's like from a different country who like if your native language is different, you're not going to read the sarcasm the same.
Right.
So if you're Italian and you know some English and then you read that, you're going to be like, you're not going to gauge the sarcasm just the same as if I knew like a little bit of Spanish and I saw a sarcastic Spanish thing, I'd be like, I wouldn't say anything though. I'd probably be like, I don't know enough Spanish to know.
No, it's a great point. It's a great point, and even I forget that from time to time.
Yeah, because we're reading.
And sometimes they're kids.
Yeah, sometimes they're kids too. So that's why I backed off. I wanted to be like, no shit, but I was like, exactly. I was being sarcastic. Is all I said because I think it was a kid. I think the person who said it was like 16, 17, and like they don't. And I've had that a lot. I've had a lot of like young kids say stupid shit. And I'm just like, I don't want to say anything. But every once in a while, you get a full-grown adult say stupid shit, and then it's like, fuck
and
off.
You're on the verge where you get people like me and more people like me that just start coming to your defense, and then you don't have to worry about that anymore because other people will explain it for you. Yep. That's when you know you're really getting to like a good point. In a community and in a follower count and all that kind of shit is when like other people start explaining the inside jokes for you so you don't have to. So when people don't get it, your community will kind of jump on them.
And that's actually a good point because I did have a dude. So I was talking to Charlie about this. We
almost quit doing live streams right away because some dude came in here doing a crazy amount of hate speech. Dude. Like all over the board levels of hate speech, anything you could do to trigger anyone in chat or on the actual podcast.
If I've seen enough,
almost quit right away.
If I've listened to enough Gary V, he would say, "Fuck those people." You listen to Gary V or watch Gary V?
Yeah,
you know that is. Yeah, he's a character. But like people like him are like, I mean, you have to kind of avoid. You have to kind of ignore all that stupid shit, and it's hard. It's hard. Like,
I don't want to hear your bullshit about why you can't wake up and kick as much ass in that day. It's fucking possible. He almost sounds like Lars Ulrich if you really listen to him. You know what I'm talking about,
well, they're
right?
both from the East Coast, aren't they? Where's Lars from? No, maybe
Lars is West Coast.
It's weird because he sounds like he's like from like New York or something, but he's they're the Bay Area, aren't they?
Fucking duffel bag.
Yeah, that's weird.
I still don't have a great Lars Ulrich yet. Oh man, if you want to hear a great Lars Ulrich impression, go back and watch the episode. I can't remember the number, but it's Joe DeRoche and Casey Weissar from a band called Revenant Soul. And there's a period in that podcast where Joe does, the singer of Revenant Soul, does one of the greatest Lars Ulrich impressions you will ever hear.
Funny.
I don't have it time stamped, but somebody needs to go back and make a clip of that motherfucker.
So
I don't have the time.
This when you said like people coming to your defense, one dude who's actually likes my stuff and is.
It's the first thing I did. I was like, dude, there's not a market for people that don't do what Mike does.
But that's a whole conversation that we had last time that I want to have again about people's perception of other players. But we're going to come to that because I want to get to that. Well, so one dude, I showed this to Charlie too, and I was like, this is so stupid. Dude, like I said, when I'm burping, by the way, for people who are watching, I will repost stuff that I've posted in the past for content because again, it'll garner like new followers,
new interest.
If I post on the regular, I gain a lot. I do get lazy and I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to post. But if I post in the regular, even if it's repost of something I posted 3 weeks ago, it still does really well. So I post one I posted 1 million times. Not 1 million times, like 3 or 4 times. And it said, and I just put a caption. And the caption was just, I didn't even think that hard about it. It was a melody solo-y type thing. It wasn't super shreddy, but it was. But there was like melody stuff, and I just posted melodic shred. That's all I wrote. And then I tagged a bunch of shit. And some guy was like, well, dude, this is not melodic shred. Like, it's just full-on shred. You don't know what you're talking about. But he was like a fan of mine. And he was like, he follows me. And he was like, if you're talking melodic shred, you should talk more about like Alan Holdsworth or Les Paul. You know who Alan Holdsworth is?
No. I should. I feel like.
Not melodic. I mean, melodic in his own way, but like Alan Holdsworth is like super outside fusion-y jazz player. He's insane shred. He's not a melodic shredder. He's like his own world. And then if you were to put, you know, Les Paul is.
Is his name Anthony Foley?
No.
Your follower?
No, some random dude. Some random dude. So,
because it sounds like my friend Anthony Foley.
So if you just you can't put Alan Holdsworth. You can't say here's what you can't put Alan Holdsworth and Les Paul in a category together. It just doesn't. That's not what it is. Like that's like saying like
Eddie Van Halen and Kurt Cobain.
Yes, it's pretty close. I mean, granted, like Les Paul,
Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain, maybe,
or Jimi Hendrix and fucking, I don't know, Jason Becker, like, or like fucking Yngwie Malmsteen, and be like, yeah, Yngwie Malmsteen and Joe Pass. It's like, that's a jazz, and that's what? Like, he named like Les Paul and then put him in the same category as Alan Holdsworth, and it was like, that's not even the. What are you talking about? And then he went on. He boasted a lot, so someone came to my defense, and there was this big thread back and forth between the two of these guys.
That's the best thing that can possibly happen on any of our social medias.
I know. And the one dude who came to my defense was like totally reasonable, and everything he said was kind of like jokey. And then the guy took all of his comments very seriously and was like, oh, blah, 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 and said this whole long thing. And then the guy who came to my defense was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're like, he went down this rabbit hole of like name dropping these people that he was connected to in some fashion that I don't think he really was. And then the guy was like, geez, now you're name dropping. And then the guy, like, it was this really weird thing. Like, it was like watching I don't even know. It was just one guy was like, okay, buddy, like, whatever. And the other guy like responded with, don't tell me that, and then went on this huge rant about something, and then the other guy goes, yeah, okay, buddy, whatever. And then the other guy goes, hey, and then went on another huge rant. That was like the equivalent of what it was. Like, the one guy was barely saying anything back, like, okay, like, you're whatever. It's just the shit you run into online is bizarre.
That's the best thing that can happen for your own social media, though, man.
That's what my sister said.
Other people arguing.
My sister was like, oh, you're at a place now where people actually give you shit. Like, that's great. It means you're doing well.
It's great.
I was like, I guess.
Yeah. So now.
It's the first time I've had to deal with it.
So, exactly.
Besides YouTube, no matter how big you are, YouTube people are assholes.
Dude. Yeah. And
it doesn't matter if you have 100 followers or 100,000 followers. People say dick things on YouTube. Instagram's rare. Instagram is mostly nice.
It is,
and then
right?
Random dickhead things. YouTube is like half and half. I mean, it's no matter how many followers you have, YouTube is half assholes.
Yeah.
YouTube, I mean, dude, I have 1,200 followers on YouTube, and at the time of like my worst asshole comments, I had less than 1,000. I'd get people saying...
Did you get accepted into the YouTube partnership program to monetize through Google AdSense? If you have 1,200, you should.
Maybe. Well, they used to do it a long time ago. I was in it, and then they changed the rules, and I got taken out of it.
So you got to have 1,000 subscribers and a rolling total of 4,000 watch hours per rolling 12-month period. So you might, if you don't have your watch hours,
I don't know what they are. I know I have over 100,000 video views.
that doesn't matter. Views are irrelevant.
Yeah.
Subscribers are irrelevant once you're past 1,000. It's watch time.
Watch hours, okay.
Yep. So if you're not getting enough because dude, YouTube is where the real money's at.
I know, I'm not even
like
involved
that's the
in
crazy this is the crazy shit. Like this is what people don't understand, right? So you got Twitch, you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you got YouTube. YouTube is the highest mountain to climb. It is the highest and hardest mountain.
That's one of the best places to make money.
But once you monetize and climb that mountain, it's a death game. It's a death level. You got headaches?
Yes.
Oh, it itches. Oh.
Wearing my hat too much.
Well, yeah, I was going to say you're wearing a hat. That ain't my headphones.
Well, it's because
For the record, on record.
Yeah, it's
public record.
His
so
headphones
I can't
have lice. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
No, it's because I put gel on my hair today and now I'm wearing a hat.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Because I went to students' houses, so I had my hair.
It's like if you
it's
like if you miss your shower in the morning. Right?
I took a shower.
No, check this out. Check this out. This is something a lot of dudes go through and they haven't put the puzzle pieces together. You showered, late last night after the gym or whatever, before or after your date, whatever. So you think you're good. You wake up the next morning, you miss your shower, you go to work, but during that time you hit deodorant, you get off work, you go back to the gym, you hit the deodorant one more time, and then later that night, your armpits start itching, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? Well, it's just because you've reapplied 3 levels of deodorant. It's a sweaty fucking day. It's a normal experience.
No, it's because I had gel. I had product in my hair,
and
I put a hat on when I came here.
99 degrees out. Exactly. That's the point. Is it's just this chemical reaction of just it's hot. It's fucking hot, dude. So you're not unsanitary. You're not unbathed, but the products we put on our shit.
I put some product in my hair because I was going to students' houses and I made a video ad for my lessons company.
Let me put it this way. I took a shower today because I shower at weird random times based on what I'm doing for that day. So if I got nothing physical happening the entire day, I shower right away in the morning. So I smell fresh and perfect all day. But if I know I'm going to wake up and mow the lawn and go to my parents' rental properties and help out there now, especially now that what's going on with my dad, sometimes I don't shower till 3-4 in the afternoon. Because why would you
shower before you go do physical labor?
Especially in this fucking heat wave we have in Minnesota, right?
Sometimes
I showered right before you got here.
Sometimes I do get a little bit. I'll do 2 in a day, often, especially in the summer.
Dude, I showered 2 hours before you got here.
Yep.
Okay. I stunk enough because I went out to go grab a couple beers of what we're drinking, right? I was like, so 4 o'clock hit. And I was like, you know what? I looked at my beer stash and I was like, I have enough, but let me just go buy a 12-pack. Ran over, grabbed a 12-pack. By the time I got back, I sweated enough to where I reapplied my deodorant. My armpits are already itching.
Yeah.
Just from going out to meet you at the car one more time, I sweat just enough.
It's so fucking hot.
And it's like, God damn,
That's why you're just come inside.
Yeah, I'm like, we're going inside, dude. Fuck.
And I was like, where's your gate?
Dude, it's crazy because if someday when we have more time because we've monetized on a heavier level, we'll have the ability to where you can come over noon. We'll hang out. We'll have some food. We'll fucking kick it outside. We'll have the sprinkler system on, the misting station on. Drops at 10, 15, 20 degrees at times.
The whole podcast outside in the mist.
No, it'll be dope. We'll come down here. We'll jam out. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting the whole other side set up. A lot of people haven't been able to really see this, but I'm going to force my own cam. Behind me here, where the old podcast studio was. Sorry, there we go for the cameras. This area, oh my god, I can't fucking tell direction.
Dude, you can't.
It's bad. Anyways, behind me,
there,
shit's actually starting to look pretty dope. I think it's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hang new curtains on the outside of that box.
Yeah.
Right? So it feels really good in that area as well. And then we're gonna we're gonna do with the new mixer and the new setup, everything we're upgrading towards. we're going to get legit bands to come in and do the podcast and do some version of an acoustic set. Right? So whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes, whether it's whatever, it's not going to be like a weird, awkward radio show where I'm sitting here hanging out with guys and talking, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's do another song. Yeah. No, it's either going to be at the beginning or at the end. And I think we're going to do it at the beginning. Like, we're going to do a little cool little fucking acoustic set, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to do a 2-hour podcast.
I look fat in your cameras.
No, you don't.
Better than I'm used to looking.
No, you look like you're part of Thick Boy Nation. The reality is that on my cameras, I look anorexic.
No, you don't. You look normal size.
No, I am normal size, but on these cameras, I look like a fucking pencil man.
No.
So the actual healthy people look
healthy?
like they're you look like you're part of Thick Boy Nation, even though you're a healthy, normal-sized human being.
Thick Boy is that's rubbing me the wrong way right now.
No, Thick Boy Nation is THICC. Thick Boy Nation. So that's an attractive male.
Oh, okay.
Who is not a skinny, scrawny piece of shit like me.
Well,
even though I'm tall and I'm not actually that scrawny anymore, I'm super lean.
I'm scrawny in the arms.
Like I'm actually pretty well built, but like, because in real life, I'm not necessarily intimidating, but I don't exactly look small anymore. I grew up looking like I was anorexic. That's what the cameras make me look like. When you look at the cameras now, like. And no t-shirts fit my biceps, right? So
Welcome
like I always look too thin. So no, you don't look fat, bro. You look like you're part of Thick Boy Nation. Okay, when you do that,
it's a beer gut, man. Like I told you.
But honestly, man,
this is a regular Tuesday night for me.
I can already tell you, you got the square shoulders, you have the genetics, dude. Hook up with Eric Kais or my boy Anwar Anfield. They've both been on the podcast. They're both fucking legit as shit. They'll customize everything to your fucking down to, honestly, if your insurance will cover it, they'll go down to blood work.
What is this?
Diet, exercise, lifestyle.
Yeah,
they'll get your shit tight, bro. Like,
I need it.
Like Eric Kais, which is Kais, I think it's KaisFitCoach.com. And then my boy Anwar, who's also been on the podcast. He's also somebody.
Once I get the lessons company a little bit further along, some extra income, then I'll go for a personal trainer.
Well, let's help build that, dude. We talked about that right before the podcast, dude.
Yeah, I need to build it. It's been a few years, but the nice thing is it's been a noticeable build. So the first year, like I said, it was me acquiring as many students as I can with the new.
There's a
fucking fly down here.
There's either a fly.
No, it's right there.
Or there's a bee on cocaine.
There's a fly down here.
That's either the biggest fly I've ever seen in my life, or that
Have you seen a deer
bee,
fly?
Or that is a bee on cocaine.
Have you seen like one of those?
Because it's going fast.
It's very fast. It's very annoying.
And usually flies do this. But this motherfucker is on a warpath like
he's doing
bat.
A roundabout.
Yeah. Dude, it keeps distracting me all night.
He's our own personal
dude, and obviously
Goodyear blimp.
It's not a disgusting cesspool down here like we shouldn't have. And I also have a fly strip because every once in a while my dogs will shit down here. Right? So it's obvious.
Well, it catches the shit. The fly strip does.
No, it catches the flies.
I'm joking.
It catches the flies. Yep. Catches the shit. It catches the shit.
Yep. Catches the shit.
But dude, it's distracting as fuck, man.
No, it's gone now.
Nope, there it was again.
Oh, well.
It's one fly who's flying around like a bat, like he's catching other insects. There he is again.
What were we talking about?
You can actually see him on camera if you pay attention.
You'll probably see him. There he is. I just saw him.
Yeah.
What were we just saying? What were we just talking about? I remember.
Jamie's, remind us in chat what we were just talking about.
I should have brought my cigars. But whatever.
You like cigars?
Yeah.
so I figured out that is how I'm going to quit smoking.
Cigars instead?
I'm going to switch back to cigars because I will still get the nicotine and the oral fixation without inhaling them.
Oh, right. I mean, I inhale a little bit, but like the tiniest bit.
You really, if you're smoking good cigars, you don't fucking need to inhale at all.
I do the tiniest bit, but I do the same thing with cigarettes. I'm not a cigarette smoker, so I don't smoke cigs like people who smoke cigs.
Cigarettes are shitty cigars.
I don't smoke cigs like people. Like if someone gives me a cigarette, I will pull it into my mouth. I will let out half the smoke and then take in a little bit. Yeah, because that's how I smoke cigars.
That's how you're supposed to smoke a cigarette. Did you know that?
My dad, when he smoked, he quit because he had a heart attack and then he got scared and he quit, obviously, for obvious reasons. And he used to he would squeeze the end and just full.
Hit it like
and
a joint?
Yeah, you would see it go like you would see it just go down. I mean, he was bad. My dad.
Yeah, no wonder he had a heart attack. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he stopped. I have nightmares sometimes about him, like I had one the other night.
I'm sorry, man.
He's good.
That's heavy.
He's alive. So very, very good.
But still, the nightmares, man, that shit's heavy, dude. Like I feel.
Well,
that, man.
not constant. They're every once in a while, but every once in a while I have it's not a nightmare. It's not a real nightmare. It's more of like a unpleasant dream. That's not like a scary nightmare.
There's the name of your next album.
Yeah, Unpleasant Dream.
Unpleasant Dream.
So it'll be like
somewhere between a dream and a nightmare.
Yeah, it'll be Dreaming of a Nightmare. That was Dustin's band. Wasn't it? I think it was Dustin Course band.
Dreaming of a Nightmare. Wasn't it? And then your band name is Dreaming of a Nightmare.
That was Dustin Course band's name.
And then your album is called Unpleasant Dream.
Unpleasant Dream. So no, I've had one recently where it's like, I
think you're right. By the way,
he stopped smoking 2017 because he had the heart attack. But like every once in a while, I'll have this dream of like he will like be smoking behind everyone's back, and I'll catch him. Like, Dad, what the fuck? And he'll be like, oh, don't tell anyone. And I'm like, no, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, stop. Like, I have that dream probably a couple times a year, but I just had one maybe 3 weeks ago of that. It's weird. It's not all the time. Like, it's not consecutive, but it's not always the same exact situation. It's just like in the dream, he's smoking again, and it's like he's hiding it from everyone, and I catch him. And I'm like, Dad, what the fuck? Yeah. Isn't that weird?
It is crazy.
And it's not like he would do that. Everyone would know he would reek of cigarettes. You know what I mean?
Dreams are fucking weird.
But
man.
He wouldn't be able to hide it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. I'm thinking he's hiding it and has been hiding it for months in my dream. It's like my mom would know immediately if he smoked a cig. She'd be like, you smell like cigs. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Yeah. And he wouldn't. I don't think he would either. Because he had a close call. I don't know why he would want to. Yeah. And, but yeah, no, Dreams
are trippy, man. They can be really, for me, they're almost prophetic. Like, I almost feel like my dreams are seeing a multiversal version of my own outcomes.
Interesting.
So maybe it's not my actual future, but it's a version of my future, because rarely do I have dreams about my past. They're always dreams that literally feel like deja vu later. So sometimes I experience deja vu and I'm like, dude, I swear to God, this was I had a dream, because there's too much I remember about this. This isn't oh, I feel like I've been here before. It's no, I remember this, and then this is about to happen. And the thing that this is about to happen never happens.
Oh, right.
So I feel like it's almost like I feel like my dreams are when I go to sleep, I'm watching another version of myself in another reality.
That's a crazy thought if you think about it, because
I really believe that. Like, I really, truly feel that way, because there's too many things in my dreams that have happened almost exactly later in real life, where it was like, this is almost identical to what happened in my dream.
Have you watched, not to change subject at all, but it reminds me of these 2 shows recently that like do this like alternate universe type shit?
I mean, I've watched a lot of that shit.
So like the new Loki show is all that.
100%.
Have you watched
Quantum
Lovecraft
Leap?
Country?
No. Should I? Is
you
that
know what
on
it is?
Dude,
it's on
that show looks like I'm gonna hate it. Is it something I need to take seriously? Because people are fucking talking about this shit like it's the dopest shit on the planet.
Okay, let me ask you. Do you like sci-fi?
I'll give you my suckers and then you tell me. Okay. Time travel, end of the world, God versus Satan, or parallel timelines or universes.
You're gonna love it.
Okay.
So it's a great. It's so good. I love it. My girlfriend's not huge on it. She thinks there's too much for her.
Oh, okay.
Because
I got you.
Because from episode to episode, they're
fucking with you on purpose from the beginning.
So I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but like one episode will be like.
Hold on. Don't even. Hold on.
I'm not going to go into detail.
Let me explain to you an analogy and tell me how close I am.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna use your girlfriend. I'm gonna use my poor mother as the surrogate for your girlfriend.
Okay. She likes good shows though.
My mom watches Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
And is so confused by the idea that it's told out of order. That when John Travolta dies and then shows up a scene or two later, my mom immediately goes, and this is way back in the day. I'm sure she's changed her mind since then. But on first watch, I remember hearing my mom, and I quote, "This is the dumbest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. How does he die and then show up 2 scenes later?" Because at the time, she's young. Very young. I have a very young mom. So my mom's like 26, 27. Not even a stupid person.
Crazy.
Yeah, currently. Yeah, I'm 37.
I'm sorry.
At the time. My mom is not a stupid person. My mom's actually extremely intelligent. But film and stories hadn't been told in this way before.
Right. Yep.
And they didn't give you a timeline.
Right.
That this happened.
I love that movie.
That this happened on Tuesday.
Right.
But now the next scene actually happened on Sunday, which was 2 days. They don't. So my mom immediately dismisses, gets confused, thinks it's a dumb movie, does not realize. Because at the moment, now later, she gets into Lost.
Okay.
Later in her life, which deals with the same idea, telling a story out of order, and she's on it. That's how I feel the analogy of this show or movie you're telling me about right now is that, like, for some people, they dismiss it. It's too much, too fast, too all over the place.
I think
so. They're just like, nah, it's dumb.
Yeah. So no, she doesn't think it's dumb. It's not like she's like, I hate it. She's just like, I'm just not into it as much as you are. Like. It's fine, but her thing with it is that it touches on horror, it touches on adventure. Like there are episodes where it's like the whole episode's like a horror, like ghosts and like scary. And then like another episode will be like Indiana Jones. But it's all the same timeline. It's not jumping. It's all the same story. It's just the evolution of the story kind of goes into these different like areas of entertainment, I guess I would say, because it literally starts with almost like sci-fi devil versus God versus Satan type thing, and then it goes into like this horror aspect where there's like hauntings, and that happens for a couple episodes. That's where it lost her. She was like, I'm not ready for this. Like I didn't realize it was gonna go this way, and I'm not. She does well with that stuff if she's expecting it, and it came out of blue, and she was like, I don't know. And then it goes after that, it goes into like Indiana Jones territory,
Lovecraft Country,
and then it goes
Netflix.
Then it goes back. Then it goes heavy into like sci-fi. It's so good, and it's crazy because this is all taking place.
How many seasons are there?
I'm not sure. I just started. I'm about 8 episodes in, and this all takes place in a time. It's a timepiece in the aspect that it takes place at a specific time in the U.S. that is like a troubled time in our history. It takes place in like the early 50s, and it follows like this black family who deals with like segregation and racism, and it's like very real, and like so it's
like brutal real.
Yeah, like segregation, like racism, and they work through all this crazy shit. It's I love it. I really like it. And it's crazy because it's like when I first started watching this, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a movie that's kind of sci-fi, like a little bit of like sci-fi, and then it's gonna be really focusing on the time era, like the era, and then it just keeps the era thing, but it goes way beyond the sci-fi stuff I thought I was gonna go. Like it goes way farther than you think. Like it's super entertaining if you're into crazy sci-fi shit. Like I love it. I really like it. But there's a
I'm gonna have to check this out, dude.
There's a thing I was talking to Shelby about. I was like, it's like, I mean, they really address like early 1950s like racism, like big time. And there's shit said that you're like, well, we don't say that. We don't say that. Like,
dude,
and
that Jim Crow shit was the real fucking deal, man. And a lot of people really don't understand that. That all came because of a election that is very similar to Trump Biden.
Dude, when I watched that shit, I'm like, holy fuck, this is what it was like then. And you know, like we grew up knowing like that's how it was, but we don't know. And it's crazy. I told my girlfriend, I was like, can you imagine like being an like, this sounds so stupid, but like, what if you were an actor and like, hey, your agent's like, hey, I got you a part. You're going to be a police officer in this new show. Oh, cool. What are my lines? Like, well, it's a little, here it is. Here's your lines. And you're like, I'm not saying that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, I can't say that. And you're like, yeah, you're going to have to say that if you want the part. And you're like, no. I mean, personally, I'd be like...
But you're going to have to say that if you want to pay your mortgage
but
or
I don't know.
feed your family.
Dude, personally, I'd be like, I don't know how I would do it. I'd be like, fuck, I can't say that,
dude,
man. Like, I'm not saying that shit to someone.
That's not even that crazy or new or whatever, because still to this day, people have to play Nazi soldiers.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Could you imagine being like, you have to play the person who says and does stuff that is like completely unacceptable in our time, and you have to look the person across from you in the movie in the face
and say it convincingly with hate and disdain.
Dude, I'd be like, every
time you get done, you're like, I'm just joking, right?
you know
I'm just doing my job,
joking,
right?
Yeah.
You know I'm just doing my job.
They're like,
right?
what, you're just joking? No, I mean, I'm just doing my job. Yeah.
Like, I'm not being serious. You know that, right?
Yeah, right?
I know I was being super intense there, but it's like it's just...
Dude, I don't know, man. It would like, I think it would like, if I was trying to be an actor and I don't know, and they like hand that to me, I'd be like, yeah, I don't know, man. I quit. Like, I don't know if I can do that.
There's two other things that same thing pops up in my mind of, right? Like, so if I was an actor, I don't know if I could ever legitimately play a Nazi or a KKK guy, right?
Fuck, dude,
or a white supremacist or whatever,
right? And like say shit like
even
that.
Even as a Jew, if somebody was like, yeah, but for the sake of blah 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 blah, and our people, you got to tell this story. Okay, I get that, right?
Right.
There's two more. I'm married now. Okay, so when I was single. Oh shit, I forgot I just touched my hand. I forgot my ring in the shower. It's literally, I know exactly where it is. It's in the shower. But I'm married now, but if I were an actor, I don't know how comfortable I'd be faking or acting or joking, whatever you want to say it, like a passionate sex scene with another woman.
I've thought that
would
too,
be super
dude.
tough.
That'd be very hard for me.
Because I'm straight. somehow acting past being straight and playing a gay man.
Yeah.
Where they're like, okay, now you need to make out with this dude. I'm gonna be like, dude, I don't know if I can do that.
Dude,
Those are my three things.
I could let alone
playing a legitimate heavy racist. Okay. Pretending to fuck or make out with any other woman convincingly other than the woman I'm actually in love with.
Dude, right?
Or like literally trying to pretend. So where I'm going with this is the people that can do that, like on a much more common perspective, is like any gay dude who's ever convincingly played a straight dude.
Right.
That's got to be as equally tough as what I just talked about.
Maybe.
You see what I'm getting at?
Maybe.
Like, I look at it the same. Like, they're not into that, but they have to do it convincingly enough to convince you on camera.
Right.
I don't know if I could pull that off. Same thing with being a Nazi. Same thing with... I don't think I can pull that off.
I think, dude, I'm
just saying, we talk shit about actors a lot in this world.
Dude.
It's a fucking skill, bro,
dude,
to be convincing.
It's like this weird... Dude, it's like... I don't want to say this. This sounds bad, but it's like... You're letting go of part... And this sounds bad.
Oh, here's a great example. Let's put this in context.
Part of yourself. You're letting go of like a part of your like... I don't want to say dignity, but like it's like I would what you just said. Like I'm not married, but I have a girlfriend, and like if they were like, hey, yeah, in this scene you have to make out with this chick, I'd be like, I don't know if I can do that. You know what I mean? I'd be like, I would hate if she did that, and I don't want to do that. Like,
oh, but it's acting. It's not real.
But that's what's.
But I need to make it seem real.
But it's like, yeah, but like you're gonna pay me to do something I'm uncomfortable with. That's not that far off from like some other shit that you do to get paid for. That's like, I don't want to do this, but like, I guess since you're paying me, it's like it's this weird way of like whoring yourself out.
Yeah, you become a hooker.
Yeah, and because like, here's the thing, like,
if that's not accurate, you're becoming a hooker. That's the only analogy I can think of.
Because you don't want to do it.
We're assuming hookers don't want to do it.
Yeah,
though.
You're right. It's not even about not don't wanting to do it. It's more of like if you,
because I do believe sex work is real work.
Okay,
I do wholeheartedly believe it's the oldest fucking trade in the book.
Well, if you want to do it, I guess whatever. But my thing is what I'm saying is like, it's like. There are there's got to be people in the industry that act who are like, well, I'd rather not make out with someone who's not my girlfriend or my wife, but
think about it
guess
just from
for the part I'll do it.
And let's think about it simply. How many women have been forced to show their breasts even though they didn't want to, but it's for the part.
It's for the part.
Or even a dude who's forced because for the part, he needs to take his shirt off.
Well, it's a little bit different when chicks showing tits, but...
free the nipple.
Yeah.
Hashtag free the nipple. Is it? You see what I'm saying?
I would argue that any guy would be more... on average, guys are going to be more comfortable.
Sure.
I do it right now. I'll do it right now.
Most guys are more comfortable.
Yeah, most guys. There's going to be some guys who are like, I'd rather not do that.
It's really still the same idea, though. Like, right. I don't want to do this, but in order for me to either get this role and pay my bills, or let's say your bills aren't on the line. I don't really want to do this, but this actually is what's best for the role. This will
lead me to this role or that role.
So incentives be damned.
Yeah.
There's a million reasons you might do it, but these are the reasons that I immediately was like, nah, I ain't gonna be an actor. Like, fuck this shit.
There are people who have success, a lot of success in those realms, who completely avoid that stuff, and they completely avoid all, like, look at like Jim Gaffigan. Like, he's a clean comic, and he does all these shows where he's like completely clean, like doesn't do anything weird, and he's gotten to that point, and there's room for that.
But what did Jim Gaffigan have to do to get to that point?
Well, he's
a lot about the women.
He's a lot older.
We all know about the women that willingly did the Harvey Weinstein shit to get roles in films.
Well, that's not... Yeah, but that's not like every woman has done that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Not every woman willingly hooked up with Harvey to get a role.
Right,
a lot of women unwillingly hooked up with Harvey Weinstein to get a role. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So guys like Jim
Gaffigan, I don't think he unwillingly blew Harvey Weinstein.
Fair, but how many people did?
How many people did weird shit to get where they're at? Is what you're saying, basically.
Right.
How many
people, including for the role?
Oh,
excuse me.
How many people
for the role? Including people for the role, like, you know, actress Y.
Who's that?
She accepts any.
I'm just joking again.
You know what I mean?
I was joking.
Actress A.
I like to fuck with you sometimes when you say stuff. I go, "Who's that?" And you're like, "Anyone." I'm just joking.
It's good. It's good for the podcast. Fuck with me more. Fuck with me more. It's funny. But no, seriously, like, pick an actress. She didn't want to do this, but it wasn't about her integrity being at stake. It was about, okay, I don't want to play a Nazi, but this piece of art is so important to tell this story as an anti-Nazi story that I need to compromise what I want to do.
That's a very good point.
See what I'm saying?
It's a very good point.
So we're looking at this idea in any, but that's the dilemma of the actor. So as much as we want to talk shit and belittle them,
I'm not belittling them at all. I'm just saying
I'm just going to be honest. I have been. I'm also going to come to their defense and say it goes both ways.
I'm more of making a joke about how, like, could you imagine being in a situation like, fuck, like, I have to say that.
Yeah,
that's more of
it's tough, and sometimes they do it.
You're right.
And
like,
they sell out their principles to pay their bills, but sometimes they do it because the greater story is better for humanity.
You're right. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
And that shit is hard, because that is basically an actor's life, is choosing, I have to audition for this role whether I like it or not because I got to pay my bills, or I'm choosing to audition for this role even though I don't like it because the story is that important to tell. That's the life of an actor.
That's a good point.
That really is, because I know a bunch of them, struggling and successful.
That's a good point.
That's their whole fucking thing is, I don't fucking want to play that role, dude, but I got to pay a fucking mortgage. Or I don't want to play that role, but this fucking art and this story is so compelling that I need to be a part of it to help it come through at its most authentic self, to help our own people. So I know Jews who have acted in films as Nazis because it was more important to get the story out than it was to play the enemy. That's what I'm getting at.
That's a good point, because when it comes down to it, like when I watch that show Lovecraft Country and I see these historical things,
how could you play that role?
I think to myself,
that's
like,
where we started with
this.
I
think with that, like, holy fuck, like, if I was an actor, how could I say that? But then at the same time, it's like, it also opens your eyes to a point where you're like, for me, I was like, oh my God, like, sometimes when you're living in the now and you're living in your own world where you're trying to make a career, you're trying to do what you can do to just survive and do it on your own, you forget shit that actually happened. Dude, 1950s? That's not that long ago.
Right.
Not that long ago. And like the shit they show, you're like, oh yeah, that's
like
how it was.
Our parents were born between the 50s and 70s. Dude, anyone in our generation, our parents were born between the 50s and 70s.
My grandparents definitely saw the shit, the racist shit that I see in that show. My grandparents definitely did. My parents would have been later. Like they were born in
Shout out to Brad jumping in chat.
They were born in Inception.
Yeah, you said have your mom watch Inception and then have her explain.
Oh,
I should do. He's talking to me, so I should. He's saying I should have like my mom watch Inception and then do a reaction video. Yeah. That would actually be hilarious.
This is stupid.
Oh my God, my mom would be like, "This is fucking dumb," and none of it makes sense. You people that do this, like, make a movie like Steel Magnolias. That's what she'd say. remake Flowers in the Attic. That's the shit my mom would say in a react. I should start a reaction channel with my mom.
Here's what I'll say about that show.
She's the fucking meanest bitch on the planet when it comes.
Oh, she's not watching.
My mom will watch this and laugh right now. She just heard me say that. My mom, she'll laugh. She'll be like, "You're right," because my mom is the meanest bitch. She will criticize your shit. She will cut you down so fucking fast. Like, she'll remind you what you aren't doing. Yeah, my mom takes a lot of pride in that. She's a tough woman. Where do you guys think I get it from? Where do you think I get it from when someone comes on my podcast and says they can roll with ATB? There's a reason I fucking shut that shit down real quick. That's my mom.
So
blame her.
Yeah, like I said,
don't blame her. Don't blame her. Don't blame my mother. She is a sweet lady.
So
she's just very critical of your actual shit you got going on, which is literally where I get it from. Mama Bear don't fuck around. Thanks, Brad, for derailing the conversation.
So, what the fuck was I gonna say?
Here, let me reset this. This is the second time you've been on. Obviously, we're not rehashing your original podcast, which is telling your story. Let me ask you this flat out. Let me ask you this. You've known this has been coming up for a while because we rescheduled right after.
Right away.
Okay, so we're going to play another song so you can pee. And while you're peeing, what do you want to talk about? That's the thing. A lot of this podcast is questions I want to ask, trying to get you guys to tell stories. But I want to try to get into more of a straight up, less, even... So what's the word? Segued interview. That's what I would call it. Like, I ask a question and get you to talk, and then we segue into something else. What do you want to talk about? Like, you're here, you got your time, you got your platform. Obviously, you got shit to plug, which we can get to. But while you're taking a piss, there's a lot of shit going on in all of our lives, including your own.
There is.
Like, I want to open this up more to you guys. Like, what do you guys want to talk about? So, we're going to play a song while you're pissing.
There we go.
Think about that.
Do the,
you guys can also throw in your questions
video
as well. The So Begins. Is that the second one? That's the second one then, right? It's got to be the second one because the third one's the one with the still image.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, good. All right, here we go, guys. This is the second one.
talk about that.
Let's do it. We're back. Yeah, grab one. 100%. Yeah, please. I forgot to flip the cams though. There we go. Now we're back. Now we're officially back. Dude, that's a banger track, dude. And go for it. Didn't I give you the first one you've ever had of those last time? That wasn't you. No. I almost grabbed the 12-pack of the pineapple version. Did you? Weird.
See that?
Yeah.
Like sunk all this stuff.
That was super weird. You
anything.
must have pressed it earlier and it didn't like engage, and then when you just sat into it, it fucking
Saturday on a Tuesday.
Dude, those fucking natty lights, dude.
Pink lemonade.
Dude, and they have a pineapple lemonade one. The reason I have those on supply are because I mow the lawn.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I don't hate these.
It is the greatest post lawn mowing thing you could possibly drink because it tastes like pink lemonade, but it is a beer.
Yeah. So let's talk
about pineapple lemonade.
Here's a good analogy. So we're talking about on the break here. I like light, normal domestic beer as much as I like craft, really high quality beer.
Yeah.
And I liken that to how much I like the XFX and how much I like a 5150. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get good stuff out of an Axe effects. I also get good stuff out of an EVH. And if
you combine the two?
I do all the time, actually. I do. I plug my Axe.
John Revere from By the Thousands and I think we just came up with the solve.
I do 4 cable method from my Axe into my EVH. I have a new EVH. I told you about the L34. So there's a MIDI input. So I go MIDI out from my Axe 8 into my EVH. And then I do all the pedals, like the stomp boxes, your distortions, your compressors and shit like that. Technically,
that's in the
I route it. Well, all the, even the delays are in there, but the way I route the Axe effects is the distortions and the compressors, the compression and stuff that usually goes in front of an amp. I have it routed in the Axe 8 to go technically in front of the amp, and then all the time-based stuff that usually you put through the effects loop, it's routed to actually go through the effects loop. So there's this. Have you done the 4 cable method? It's new because it's only been around technically since amp modelers have been around. So
if I understand,
so
I don't think I'm going to be able to explain.
It's okay.
This
Let me re-explain this. So like, usually, if you have a pedal board,
let me test myself on the idea of the 4 cable method.
Okay.
So the 3 cable method is my guitar runs direct in to the input.
Yes.
Then whatever effects board or shit I have going on over here, that is the send and return.
Yes.
So it's just a traditional direct in and
typically you might have a 4 cable method with a pedal board that's just all analog. So you would have,
but it's 3 cables. So it's
you use 4.
This is my understanding, but at this point it's 3. The 4 cable is you're also utilizing a MIDI in.
So,
or am I not understanding this properly?
The silly thing about it is they call it the 4 cable method when technically before all that stuff there was a 4 cable method. Okay. Because technically, let's say you had your wah, your volume pedal, your compressor, and your overdrive, and you went into your wah, out your overdrive, into the amp, but then you had your delay and your reverb, and those went through the send and return, and technically there's 4 cables there because there's one into the beginning of it, so one into the wah, one out the distortion, and then there's one into your send and return, so technically it's 4.
Gotcha.
So that's technically 4 cable method. So, but with a Axe 8, which I have, it's different. It's not as simple as like going in and there's like a weird routing. It's really weird. I had to look it up on how to actually make it work correctly. It's not quite the same, but it acts like that. So anything that you would usually put through the effects loop, you can program it in there, and anything that you'd usually put through the front, you can program it in there. And it's technically what I use a 5 cable method. I went like this. I use a 5.
I thought you were counting 5 like this.
I was like 5. I use a 5 cable method technically because I have a MIDI that I can program my X8 to change the channel on my EVH, which is amazing.
Oh, I see what
so
you're
I can
trying
click.
to say.
I don't need my pedal that is connected to
so you can literally switch channels with the MIDI.
With the X8. So I can go
via MIDI.
I click a button and it changes to the red channel, and then at the same time it adds maybe, let's say, an overdrive and a delay, and that's my lead channel. Or maybe
Cloth just chimed in. Oh shit, we just talked about Cloth. He says, when will guitarists use real drummers? Question mark. We just talked about this on break. I'm going to take a stab. I'm taking a stab at one of Mike Salow's guitars tracks. I even told him, I said, in order for it to make, here's what I said. Tell me if I'm lying. We're live.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Call me out if I'm bullshitting. I even said, in order to make this sound right, you may need to retract the guitars and bass, because as good as I am on a click, there's certain expressions that happen playing acoustic drums that no longer fit to your originally tracked guitars.
So he's directed that towards me, so I would like to defend that.
I keep saying Cloth because that's a stupid, ignorant American way to say it. I know it's Cloth. I'm sorry, dude. Cloth, Mike, discuss.
That was the plan. The original plan was live drummer for this.
We were just talking about you, buddy.
Yeah, we were. The original plan for this album was live drummer. The reason I didn't do it is because Charlie Engen of
Five Finger Death
and
Punch
Scale the Summit and of my band Ideology was gonna play drums on it. But what happened was he's in Five Finger Death Punch. And So
the answer is, yeah, I'd love to. Dot.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. I would love to.
That's how the music business
right,
works.
Exactly.
You know, some really talented. This is literally my life. I'd love to, but. And then insert your answer, because these guys are legitimately successful and busy. So stop giving me shit in my DMs.
No, it's fine.
About why if I'm a real musician, stop giving me shit in my DMs.
I appreciate that comment. The last comment you said.
If I'm so fucking good, why haven't you dropped an album? This is fucking why. Because everybody I know is also talented and legitimately
Cloth,
busy.
I appreciate the second comment.
Your chops definitely deserve a real drummer.
I agree. So here's what happened. I think Charlie, he's not told me this, but I do think Charlie was kind of like, why didn't you have me drum on this? Because that was the original plan, but I just kind of took it upon myself, like, he got so busy at the time I was recording this with Death Punch.
Dude, I will build you a fucking roster of drummers that'll do this. Yeah, Pat Rulin, John Gensmer, Dan Copy,
so it's not
Tim Java. I will build you a fucking roster. I'll even try to sneak on that album, motherfucker.
So listen.
Let's do it. That's your next album. That's the goal.
Listen.
No, I'm not going to listen.
I want to finish my story. So what happened was I wanted Charlie on it. He got busy with Death Punch. We didn't really have a conversation about it. I sent him some tracks, and basically what happened was he would get busy, and then he'd be like, "Oh, can you send me the track again?" And then he'd get busy. And he'd be like, "Can you send me the track again?" I'd be like, "Yeah, here we go." And it just kind of happened.
That's the last 7 years of my life.
So it kind of happened.
Mike.
Which I don't blame. Like, this is...
I feel this pain.
Well, dude,
what
happened is Charlie's the only drummer in town that I want. First off, he's the only drummer I wanted to play on it. Second off, he was going to do it for free. He's one of my best friends. So I went from like, do I have a real drummer for free who's going to take a little bit of time because he's busy when I want to get this out? I really wanted to get it out. And it wouldn't be out now. I mean, if we're being honest, I love Charlie. It just wouldn't be out now because I know he's meticulous. I know he's picky. He'd be like, no, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And it, like, for me as a
because you're literally describing why my album isn't out yet.
So as a programmer, I was just like, oh, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I adjusted things, and I tried to write it in his style because I love his drumming, but I'm also a drummer, so I kind of did my own thing. So it was the difference. You
said that before we started the podcast. When you programmed the drums, you tried to do a combination of what you would play on that part,
and what Charlie would play,
or what he would play, or a combination of the two.
So here's the thing: when it comes to drumming, he is the only drummer that I'm close with that could play the parts.
That you would
Otherwise,
trust to do it right.
I'm paying someone to do it, and I just couldn't afford to pay someone to do it. I know other drummers who are good at like metal players, and we know each other, but I probably would have had to pay them, and not a whole lot. Like I have buds, and like I have a couple buddies I kind of interact with who are all over the world who probably would have been like, yeah, man, like I'll do it. Like give me $500, and I'd been like, $500. Like I can't really afford to just throw that out there. So this
especially
first
if you're thinking
album,
that you're gonna have 10 drummers on 10 tracks.
So here's actually
now
my
you're looking
idea.
at $5,000.
I have.
Let's do it for free. Let's step up, boys.
No. That's not. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
I want to pay people. We want to do it. You son of a bitch.
I want to pay people for their work. I really do. So this first album, I was like, you know what,
points,
dude.
Kick us 2 points.
This first album, I was like, I'm just gonna do the fake drums. Whatever. I'll do it. I'll get my music out, and great. What I really want to do next time is I want to do an EP. I have a bunch of drummers in town that I know, including Charlie, would at least do one track for free. And I want to do like a drummer feature thing because I have 4 friends in town who are great, amazing drummers in their own style, and I want to do a 4-song EP that like caters to each of their styles.
Dude,
so
this is gonna become a 12-song LP.
No way. Because I couldn't convince these guys to do more than one song.
No, but there's more drummers as soon as you do those 4 tracks.
No, but I want these
more
specific
dudes.
4 dudes.
Okay, so start with those 4, and there's going to be 8 more that are like, dude, I want to do something with you.
Well, they're not going to know because I'm not going to say it.
You're talking about it right now.
Ah, shit. No, but I have an idea because
I want to be the 5th drummer.
So I have 4. So there's 4 drummers in town that I have worked with the most, and they've been the dudes that I've faced.
We'll talk about your comment in a second.
Oh, no, I would like to hear that.
No,
I grew up in the 80s.
No, finish your story.
I would like to
finish your
okay.
We're going to address that in a second.
No,
it's
do that all
in the third hour.
All it
which is starting now.
No, so. All it is I have 4 dudes in town that I play with a lot, and I just would like to feature them on the album because they're so different. Like Charlie, of course. I'd have Charlie on a tune, and then my buddy L.A., my buddy Austin, and then my buddy Mark, who I've played with all those guys for a long time. We've played in different groups, and I work with LA now, and it'd just be great to be like, oh, let's just have a 4-tune thing where like me and LA will do some like R&B, like cool ass shit. Like me and Austin will do some fusion-y jazz stuff. Me and Mark do some like funky thing because he's very like straight ahead, and then me and Charlie can do some techie.
Dude, there's just so many other things that I'm level drummers that I want to hook you up with, like Al Bourne.
Well, here's the thing, I
like
get
Tim
that.
Java.
Yeah, I get that. These are
like Tim.
No, I do.
You know of Tim at least.
With Tim.
Tim Java.
Who's he play for?
Oh my God, who hasn't he played for? Oh my God, he was at that By the Thousands release. That beer release that we hooked up.
If you said a band he played for, I might know who you're talking about.
Oh my God, where does it start? Dead to Fall.
Oh, what?
The 4-letter Lie.
Oh,
was another one.
Well, hook me up with Tim.
Cobra Czar.
Because I would like to start an actual like legit metal band at this point.
I mean, here's the thing is then you got Gensmer, right? Who was in Epicurean and got signed by Metal Blade. Then you also have access to Pat Ruland, who was also signed to a Prosthetic Records with Ambassador Gun. I found that kid out of high school, and we were in a band together called Solace and Ashes. Then you have, oh my God, Dan Copy, who's in Reaping Asmodea. Like, I'm just saying, like, even if you still keep it at 4 songs with 4 drummers, you already have an entire lineup for a second version of that album.
Right.
For a second album.
The only reason I have these 4 drummers is because they're my
They're your
bros.
boys?
They're my boys.
Okay.
Like I've known these guys for years. Like
That's a little different.
that's what it is. Like me and Mark. Mark is one of my
Gotcha.
Mark. Honestly, like Mark is one of my very best friends. So is Charlie, one of my very best friends. Austin, I lived with Austin for a year. Me and LA were in like several bands. We teach at this. He was my first call when I needed to hire someone at the high school I teach at. So, and I've known him. I was in bands with him. So these are like dudes. Like we're tight. So like super tight with these 4 guys. So I was like, it would just be fun. Like it's like, oh, let's have my 4 like dudes in town that I've played with the most as drummers because they're all phenomenal drummers in their own right. And so I thought it'd be fun. And I hated that I didn't have I didn't like to do, it wasn't something I was excited about to do fake drums. It was more of like a necessity of like, I don't have time and I can't afford.
It's either that or you play them.
Well, no, because I would have to figure out a fucking studio space. I would have to figure out miking with fake drums. I was like, all right, I can make these do what I want them to do, and then I can tweak all the drums. So I spent a shit ton of time tweaking the kick and the snare specifically to sound a little more like commercial, like they're supposed to. But I appreciate that you saying that about
the Cloth. The second comment from Cloth is
the third comment is what
oh yeah, sorry, third.
Yeah,
one.
I'm a huge McAlpine fan. I used to geek on McAlpine. That record he released in the '90s. Can't remember what the title is, but also Becker and Eddie are obviously huge. Lynch, I've never been huge into George Lynch, but not that I don't like him. It's just he's never been on my radar as much as McAlpine and Jason Becker and Eddie have been. I appreciate the comment.
George Lynch is fucking.
Yeah, I think most people would rather.
Who did George Lynch play for?
If someone would rather, he played for Dokken.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
like I knew I was immediately like, no, George Lynch is a beast, but I couldn't remember what band he played for. You're right though.
So
who else did he play for? He played for somebody else. It wasn't just Dokken.
That's the only one I know.
He made a name for himself, and it was either before or after.
He had a solo
Dokken.
career too. Oh, I have 85 snares in my drum. Okay, yeah, dude. We need
more engineers in this town, and we need more. Like, okay, so let me just bring this all into context because we've been having a conversation for a long time, basically a year, on this podcast.
You and me or him?
This whole community. Oh, yeah. We've been basically having one large conversation for about a year. We're coming up on our 100th episode. Our 1-year anniversary. What's the date today?
Kills me.
The 27th.
I know. I agree. I wish I would love. Like I said, I think any guitar player would prefer real drums over programmed. Programmed is cheaper. Unfortunately.
You guys stop stepping on my touchstone call.
Lynch Mob. Someone wrote. That's what it was. That's the brand you're thinking of.
Just over 1 year ago to the day we started this podcast. We started July 25th last year.
Yep.
2020, mid-pandemic. July 25th, first episode, Zach Boyd. Since then, we've been having one overarching conversation this entire time, which is about what does this scene need more of? What do we need to accept as our reality? And what mindsets and attitudes do we need to get rid of? Now,
I like that.
Here's the point. Cloth flat out
moving to South Dakota.
Flat out says,
come hang out.
I'm a drummer engineer. We need more people that understand what that means and want to play that role.
Yeah.
We need more people that are genuine producers. Okay? So they help with songwriting. They help with effects. They help with the actual production of your art. The expression of the artistic version of an engineer. An engineer is logical. He's methodical. He understands how to get tone. He understands when things are missing from a recording and how to get them back into the mix. A producer is a guy he's a painter. He's a consultant. He comes in and he tells you your color combinations are wrong. He doesn't dictate what brush you're painting with. Mm-hmm. That's the difference between it. Our industry in this town, there is still to this day an elite level circle in this town that is doing high level shit. And then there's another bracket, which is the rest of us, who are as good as those inner motherfuckers. But we don't know what we're doing. And then there's the outer circle, the third tier. And that was us 10 years ago. We didn't even have a fucking map to make it to the inner circle. You mentioned Loki earlier, getting to that center where all the knowledge exists. In LA, everyone exists in that inner circle unless you're bullshit. That's what's been frustrating me. Because there's only one town in this country that is an actual better town to go find an elite level musician by throwing a rock, and that's Nashville. In this town, it is not an exaggeration to say I'll throw a rock in the air and hit a great guitar player in the head. I mean, maybe it's an exaggeration, but not by much. They're everywhere. Drummers, singers, songwriters, producers, actors, writers. Minneapolis is one of the greatest towns you could possibly live in this fucking country if you're a creative person. LA may be bigger. They got 30 million people, but they got a lot more posers as well.
Yeah, there's also like this willingness in those cities in LA to like kind of just do what it takes. I feel like here
there's also a better industry for jobbers.
Yeah, we definitely have more of an industry here where like everyone who is doing it wants to do it the way they want to do it is what I've noticed.
Yep.
Whereas there it's more of like, oh no, I'm here to do it, man. Like let's do it. Like let's whatever
you want to do. Tell me what to do.
Yep. And then but as soon as a better opportunity comes up, they're like, no, I got something else. I'm going. Because when I've gone to NAMM with friends, that's how it is, man. Unless you're really close with someone, it's been, oh, hey, man, well, I got this. I might be going to this party over here. So, if I disappear, sorry. And then all of a sudden they're gone. And you're like, oh, well, they found something better to do that's got higher level people over there. And,
which is understandable.
Here's a weird thing about like the engineer and producer thing. The problem right now is, well, it's not a problem. I don't know if it's a problem because I have a hard time.
Don't hedge your bet. Don't say your original thought.
Well, no. Because
make your original statement.
This is my thought.
Make your original statement, and then we'll figure out if it's a problem.
No, because my personal opinion is that we are in a situation in the music industry where it is cheaper to be your own producer and engineer. So, therefore, everyone is doing that. Everyone is being their own producer. Everyone is being their own engineer because it's cheaper. Well, I can buy Pro Tools and I can buy an interface and I can just do it all myself. Like, then that way I can get my music out. So it's cheaper. That doesn't mean that actual professional engineers and producers aren't important, but it also doesn't mean that every engineer and producer that markets himself that way is any good, because there are people who
this is huge.
There are people who definitely can self-produce and self-engineer, and that's been proven in the past 10, 15 years. There's plenty of bands who do it.
Go back 20 years, but yeah, keep
going.
But
there are bands who I just listened to a podcast with you know who Ryan Bruce is? Ryan Fluff. You know Fluff from the internet? Ryan Fluff Bruce. No. So he's like an internet dude. He has a new band, and they're managed by The Used, some of the guys from The Used, and they got a producer, and they got an engineer, and he was like, He's like, this is the best thing we've ever done. Like, he helped us writing songs, and it was really great. Like this really made this record. But look at Periphery, for example, only because I know their process, because I've watched. Everything's in house. Like, they are their own producers, and they do their thing. Or like there are other bands who, like Killswitch Engage, good example. Like Adam D is their engineer and producer.
Not the Adam D who came on this podcast.
No, Adam Dukowitz. He is a prime example of like in-house producer, in-house
two different
engineer.
Adam Ds, just in case anybody's confused.
His last name's like Dukowitz or
Dunkovich
or something.
Dukovich.
Yeah,
he's a Polish Jew.
Yeah, so, but that's a good example of someone who like,
or at least just Polish.
They've been in-house from the beginning, but he also is a professional producer engineer.
That wasn't a racist comment. I'm Jewish. I can already hear the comments rolling in.
But my point being is we talked about this last time. We put labels and we put these definitions on like what things should and shouldn't be, when everything is kind of on a spectrum of like good and bad. Like, there are self-produced bands that like you're like, dude, should have had someone else help you with that. And there's self-produced bands where it's like, that's amazing. This wouldn't have happened if you had someone else come in. You know what I mean? Like, there's this
100%.
There's this huge spectrum, and we had this conversation last time when we were talking. I think you were knocking on yourself, and I was like, dude, there's a room for everyone. Like, when we get into this sense of like, this sucks, this is good, that's bad, this good, black
is what I was
and
saying,
white. I'm not aiming this at you at all.
No,
this is something I've had in my head for a long time.
But is what I was saying is like, I have a market where I can pay my bills.
Right.
Now, the reason I'm not able to pay my bills doing said skill set is for a number of reasons. Number one,
I was thinking about myself. I was like, that's because I buy a lot of beer for myself.
Number one is I just don't have my fucking chops up. Number two is that in order for me to be a full-time jobber and do that at the level that I would need to do it at, I'm going to immediately sacrifice the podcast and everything else I have going.
Yeah.
So it's not in the math. It doesn't work. So I have to back off and realize, okay, the skill set I do provide, where is there a market for? And that immediately diminishes as soon as you do that analyzation.
Yeah.
As soon as you do that math. And that's what I was referring to is like, no, dude, my skill set's limit is on records.
Right.
For the right musicians where people go, holy shit, who's that drummer? Like, they're like, that dude bangs. Yeah, that's me. And on stage, that also applies. Right. It actually applies more on stage than it does on record, but I still bang on record as a drummer. But as a guitar player, dude, unless I'm writing the songs,
are you
bro,
a drummer first?
No, guitar player first. But I hit different on drums. There's something about me on drums that people are like, dude, your shit's dope, bro. And it's like, it's a second instrument to me. Okay. Now, if I write the guitar parts, people are like, dude, you're a really good guitar player. But no one ever says I'm a good guitar player if I play anyone else's riffs. Does that make any sense? So when I'm writing the shit, people are like, dude, you're fucking actually kind of dope, bro. Like, good musicians will pull me aside silently and be like, listen, dude, like, I never thought you were... This is Jacob Muley, one of the most respected musicians in the state of in the state of Minnesota. One of the most respected musicians in the state of Oh my God, in the state of Minnesota.
The state of musicians. Yes, I get it.
In the state of Minnesota, on both drums and bass, saw me at a live show once, and he goes, dude, I never thought you were a shitty musician, but I'd heard you fucking around at the store on drums and guitar, but this is not what expected.
Right.
Like this was incredible, is what he said to me. He goes, "This was impressive because I've heard you dick around, and you." And I tried to tell Jake, I'm like, dude, because I don't flash in public.
Dude, you're better than I am, because in that way, I would take the compliment with a grain of salt, and I would be like, yeah, but I usually suck.
No, for him,
I'm
it was
so
like,
bad. I'm so bad.
We
like,
worked together
people can
at Guitar Center. I was like, bro, I'm not going to you guys are actually good, so I'm not going to try to flash in public. That one fucking fly.
He's back. He went right
I just
between
flat
us.
out told him. Dude, I'm like, you guys are all so good that I ain't trying to flash in public.
Right.
Like, I ain't even trying to pretend I'm good around you guys. Like, I know what I can do. If it's music I write, because that's the other thing. You guys do these drills, you guys do these fucking regiments, you do these things, and I ain't on that level. But dude, if I write that shit, I will sit down here and I will figure out every fucking grace note and ghost note that I need to fucking perform in it. And then when those dudes came, they were like, bro, you bang, bro. You got to, like, hit this way harder. Yeah. That's my problem is, like, unless I'm writing the music, I lack inspiration for work ethic. Right. I need to be around musicians where you're writing a riff, like the shit I've been talking about, like tonight, right? I've been like, bro, I'm going to take a run at one of these tracks that you're doing, because
I'm gonna
as a guitar player, it is so hard for me to find another guitar player that is writing a riff that I am so inspired by that I'm gonna put that level of work ethic into the drum part that needs to be behind that guitar riff. It's what I just said is such a convoluted list of ideas and words that it almost sounds like bullshit, but that's what I played guitar. So if your riff is bullshit, I can't even be inspired by it to write a banging drum riff. But when your shit's dope, suddenly my shit's dope. That's why I love being in a band and not trying to be in a solo project. Henceforth, again, to stop fucking hating in the DMs, you fucking pricks. That's why my album hasn't been done. Because I don't want to be a real solo project. Right. It's supposed to be my baby, but still a collaboration.
Okay, so that actually another part of
you fucks.
Yeah, another part of the reason I did go.
Don't move to South Dakota. Just move to Minneapolis.
Yeah,
bro.
there you go. So another
seriously, you're going to lose a lot of time and money in South Dakota. Just come to Minneapolis. Seriously, just get to Minneapolis. That's where all your time and money is going to be spent. You'll fuck your family if you move to South Dakota. Just come to Minneapolis, dude.
So that's another reason I did do the fake drums. Part of it was like, I just wanted to be, this sounds really fucking full of yourself, but there's part of me where I was like, I do want it to be like just me. Like, I just wanted it to be me. So everything on the album, like I did the guitars, I did the bass, I did the keyboards, I did all the synth, I did all the background. Like, no one touched any of that music but me and the person who mastered it. Otherwise, I did everything from the bottom up. And the only...
Bemidji sucks.
Yeah.
Get to Minneapolis.
So the only thing that I did... I used to live in Bemidji. Oh!
Yeah. I'm talking to Clothin.
I know, yeah.
So for the listeners...
I didn't realize he's so close. I thought... Where is he living right now?
He's in Europe, I think.
Oh. So he was like kind of this area at one point. So my point being is like, there's that part of you where it's like, just, that's actually one point I didn't get to. Like, Charlie wanted to play on it, but he was busy. And then times he wasn't busy. But part of me was like, I just want this to be me. I want it to be me. Like, I want to do this from the bottom up and be completely 100% me. And the only thing that is not me are the guest solos. So like Al Joseph and Jack Gardner and Per Nelson.
Shout out to Al Joseph.
Yep. So they left. So me and Al are buds, and me and Jack are buds, and Per, we have mutual friends, and Per is one of my favorite metal guitarists. So I was like, I got to hit him up because we have mutual friends. So it's no better time to fucking hit him up because Per's solo is insane. And but that's one of the reasons I did it too, because like I can't play the drum parts, and so I guess I have to program them. So but it gets like to that point of like, I don't know, man, like I have a hard time, like I think it's from being a teacher. I hate. I used to have students who be like, well, I can't do that. I'm like, fuck that. Like, yeah, you can. I had one student who was like, well, I'm dyslexic, so I can't read music. And I'm like, read this. And he'd read it. And I'd be like, see, you're reading it. And he'd be like, well, I can't read that fast. I was like, yeah, I mean, work on it. Like,
play Guitar Hero,
dude. Well, yeah, that's the answer.
Sight reading. Play Guitar Hero.
No, it's a matter.
It's a literal timing game. Like,
well, that's different.
All of this is irrelevant. You're learning how to hit a thing on a timing. So Guitar Hero will build your sight reading capability.
I'm gonna argue there, and I'm gonna say it will not. Because I am very good at
I'll buy into your theory because of this. Because when I jumped on Guitar Hero for the first time, Jeremy Blake went, dude, your fucking sight reading is incredibly talented. Like, already I can tell you played orchestra or something. And I was like, yeah, I played orchestra in high school. And he was like, yeah, dude. So I think your theory.
I think maybe the opposite.
No, it's your theory.
If you are good at sight reading,
then you're good at Guitar Hero.
Yes,
that's what Jeremy said. That was the point.
I don't think Guitar Hero will make you better at sight reading, but I think if it's the opposite, because I have when I brought Guitar Hero to my students at the high school, they were like good at it. And a lot of them who are good at it are good sight readers. But it did not work the opposite way, because I was good at Guitar Hero when I was growing up. And then I went to college, and I had to like kind of work my way up with sight reading on guitar. Granted,
man, I remember nailing there was 2 solos on Guitar Hero.
Granted, guitar sight reading is not like any other instrument.
I will agree that Guitar Hero is not. I did feel like it made me better at sight reading, though. I do feel like it made me better, though, because
it would make your hand-eye coordination. That would be something. Like, your hand-eye coordination would get better, but if you don't know the notes on the staff, then it's not going to make it that part better. But it might make the reactionary time better. So maybe you're not off. We're probably both.
No, I think you're right. No, because now that you're explaining it that way, I think you're right. Because I think
your hand-eye coordination
No, you're right. No, you're right. Because I already knew the idea of what was coming.
Yeah.
And just had to recorrelate 4 buttons.
But you're right. I think you're right in one aspect, in the fact that, like, the hand-eye coordination would be built up. But you're not necessarily going to, like, if you don't know fucking that A is the second space and F is the first space. You know what I mean?
I do remember getting super frustrated with that game, though, because I remember at one point in time literally giving the fake guitar to somebody, and I go, I'm fucking done with this game. Real guitar is easier than this.
Seriously?
And they looked at me like... They looked at me with the most complex face, and I go, I know how to play this song on real guitar flawlessly, and I can't get through this song on expert.
Dude.
And I literally went home that night and uncovered my acoustic guitar that I hadn't played in 7 years, because I had joined a band and become a vocalist and set down guitar to concentrate on being a singer. All that dumb shit, right? And I had started to play Guitar Hero because that came out, and literally that's what made me pick up guitar again.
Good. That's
I got so frustrated with the video game, because I was like, I used to rip, and I can't play this song. And I went back on real acoustic guitar and learned how to play this metal song from front to back.
Yep.
Perfectly.
Yep. Dude, so that's I guess my point being is that, like,
Guitar Hero sucks.
Well, Guitar Hero sucks. No, actually, funny story. One of the students brought it to the high school I teach at the last day or two, and we played it, and one of the trumpet students beat me, and they were like, how did Mr. Salow get beat? How did someone beat him? And I was like, I haven't played this like in 10 years. Like, so, but I'll do another, probably the last one for me. But With that, split skis. So the thing that something that I've changed for me over the years, and that I really, really encourage a lot of people who are into music. I used to live in San Diego. A lot of people who are into music, a lot of people who are professional musicians. I mean, anyone who's in music, is that after teaching at a college for almost 5 years, teaching at a high school for over 2 years, teaching a lot of different students, and talking to a lot of different people, I think one thing, I used to be the kid in high school that'd be like, oh, like, that kid's a fucking poser, he fucking sucks, oh, fuck, like, what the fuck, he doesn't even know what this shit is. And after actually, like, having kids come into my lesson.
We talked about this last time. I remember this.
Having kids come into my office for a lesson and being like, oh, I can never do that. And like knowing that they can and be like, no, dude, you can. I've seen you play stuff like that. Like, what are you talking about? Or having a kid talk down to someone else and be like, you don't even get it. What the hell? And knowing that that kid is talented, the one who's getting talked down to, man, I think one of the biggest things that bothers me about the music industry, not music industry, I shouldn't even say that, social media music, and people's perception of how they should act about music, is that, dude, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like, as long as you're having fun and like you do your bag and you try to do it as best as you can, like, that's all that fucking matters. Like, if you're some ass who's like shit and you're being an asshole about it and you're acting all full of yourself, like, that's the worst. I'd rather have some guy who is having fun and is like, oh, well, I'm just trying to have a good time and like, this is fun, I enjoy it, and kind of struggle. But as long as they're like a good person, I'm like, dude, fucking hell yeah, like, let's keep it going. Like, you have a good head on your shoulders, like, you have a good outlook, like, you can get better, you can be really great. And I don't know, it's the more and more, the older I get, the more I'm like, it's all mindset more than like talent, because like I've seen plenty of talented people, and most people who are truly talented are really great people. Like, all my friends who are really talented, is it weird tasting? I haven't tried it.
It's so good.
Is it a sour?
It's crazy, but it's good, dude.
Okay, so all my buddies,
so good.
All my buddies who are very talented, like, they don't give a shit. They're like, yeah, dude, like, I don't know, man, like it used to really, it would really hurt when I'd see a kid, like, see a college student kind of like doubt themselves. I'd be like, fuck, like, no, man, like, you're great, like, you're doing great, like, just fucking work hard, try your best, like, you're gonna do great, like, you don't need to get all caught up on this shit, because like, music, the thing that people don't realize when they start it, and the thing that people don't realize if they don't do it, is that when you play music for people, like, it's about the same as taking your pants off. Like, it is so personal. Like, it is so personal. Like,
that's what I was talking about earlier versus a cover band.
And I don't know why it's so personal. No, it doesn't matter. I
think it does.
Coming from experience, like, it doesn't matter if I'm in a cover band, if I'm playing original music.
I think in a cover band is taking your pants off. I think an original band is taking your underwear off.
That's a good one. But dude, it's not.
I'm being kind of serious. I know. Like, I know. I'm actually being very serious.
But dude,
like,
I'm telling you from experience.
Like, taking your pants off isn't that big of a deal. People do that at frat parties, but taking your underwear off. That's another level.
I'm telling you, it depends on who your audience is, and it depends on who you're playing towards and what your goals are. Because if your goals are to be like the dude in town that gets hired for all the best paying cover gigs, then it's like taking your underwear off, because you're so like, I have to be like as good as I can be in this portion of the industry. Like, something with music, because dude, when my students perform, they're not performing originals, they're performing covers. And they have panic attacks and they freak the fuck out. And I was the same. So when it comes down to playing music, it doesn't matter if it's original or cover. The fact that you're putting yourself out there and performing something for someone, and it depends on the person. Some people are like, whatever. Like, I've gotten to a point with certain gigs, on the cover gigs I do, don't care. But I guarantee if I was on tour with my original band, Ideology, I guarantee by show 10, I'd be like, whatever, it's just another show. I'm just going to play my part. Because I know that's how Charlie gets. Charlie's playing original music, but he gets to a point where he's like, it's 10 shows in. I've played enough to kind of like get rid of the butterflies. If I'm playing fresh with a cover band I've never played with, dude, I am just as naked as I am playing a show, presenting my music to... Example. The first time Ideology played, we played our own set, which is all my original music, is just as anxiety-ridden as when I have sat in with a cover band who I'd never played with before. And it's about the same. Like, it doesn't matter if it's cover, like, it's your inner self. I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. Jared's peeing. He's peeing right now. I know you can. Oh. Ugh. That's interesting. That's pretty good. It's like what is that disgruntled? Dude, I'm going to be up there in September. I'm going to be up in that area. Poem or what was that town where disgruntled's at? Ponem or Ponem or something like that. Oh, Perham. That's up northwest of here. That's really good. Give me the fruit. There it is. Pretty good one. Imperial sour, passion fruit, peach, orange, tangerine, vanilla, marshmallow. I taste all of it individually. Yeah, man, I just, I like when...
That was a hell of a piss. That was a fucking hell of a piss.
I have a hard time, there's definitely people online that I see, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like this. But I can't help but be like, yeah, but they're doing the thing. They're making it happen.
Yeah,
I can't...
I've drawn that distinction very clearly on this podcast.
Yeah.
I get it. You don't like this. But let's not argue about whether these people are talented or not.
Right.
And then I've also made the argument on the other side. You may like this, but these motherfuckers ain't as good as they think they are. Let's start talking about some shit on some real levels.
I've been waiting to I talked to Charlie about this. I was like, I would love to make a video.
I both gained and lost an incredible amount of followers based on one single podcast.
Oh.
Because somebody came on this podcast, claimed they were one thing, and I immediately lost all ability to be a good host, a good person, a good podcaster. And I'm like, nope, you're fucking high. Dude, you're delusional. I immediately became a condescending prick.
Oh.
I didn't handle it very well, but I was also right.
Well,
they're not on that level.
Yeah.
They're not. And I've talked to...
I'm Jesus Christ.
I've talked to a lot of people...
I was trying to bait you there with that one.
I've talked to
I don't know. I make stupid jokes. I make stupid jokes.
I caught it. I'm skipping it.
If my girlfriend watched this, she'd be like, "Oh, you made a bad joke."
No, it was a great joke. No. I'm just skipping it because I got a lot of. You know what? We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. He's like,
Nope, it was funny. It was funny. I'm just skipping it.
I think my girlfriend would be like very cringy. She'd be like, I can't believe he tried to make a joke right there. Why did he do that?
It was honestly, it was exceptionally well timed.
Okay.
It was very well done.
I don't know.
I give you an A+.
No, A+ for me.
No, but I've talked to a lot of people surrounding that project. And, yeah, I'm not wrong.
How about the guy you were talking about?
Yeah, I'm not wrong. I knew I wasn't wrong from day one, but I got a lot of shit for it. Made me kind of second guess. And no,
it's okay to disagree.
Wrong. No, it's
That's
not even one of those deals. It's one of those things where it's like, nah, dude, you got to just kind of like acknowledge what's actually happening here.
Right.
Like either you kill it or you don't. You know what I mean? Kind of deal. That's the scale we're on.
Yeah.
Like, and if you say you kill and you don't, then you don't.
Yeah.
There isn't, but I'm gonna kill.
Yeah.
Cool. That may be true.
Yeah.
But that's not the scale you established. The scale you established is that you're fucking killing, which you're not.
And that brings me to that, what I was just going to say.
That's what you brought up,
dude,
a few minutes ago.
Yeah. So I've talked to...
And then there's guys on the other side who are like, I ain't shit. And I'm like, no, bro. You're fucking banging.
Right.
And you need to develop some fucking confidence in what you're doing because your shit is dope. Or the Revenant Soul Boys who I had on the podcast. And I go, no, you know you're fucking dope. You are fucking dope. You crush it live. Your one fucking mistake is so far you haven't captured your sound on record. I challenge them on the podcast. That's what I want to see from you because that's what you're missing. That's why you're not selling bigger tickets.
I'd rather have... I don't know what I'd rather have.
Because I love those fucking guys. Shout out to the Revenant Soul Boys. Those guys are fucking crushing. But they have not gotten a good record yet, dude.
I don't know what I'd rather have. I don't know if I'd rather have a conversation with someone who's a little bit self-doubty or a conversation with someone who thinks they're way better than they are.
Oh, I'd much rather the latter.
Way better than they are?
Yeah.
Really?
It's way higher. It's way easier to knock someone down a couple of steps than it is to build them up.
No, I think
you can inspire someone, but ultimately only they can build themselves up.
Yeah. I think
it's way easier to knock somebody down a couple pegs.
But I think my natural state of mind is to, as a teacher, I think I'm better with the first.
I want to do the first. I want to do the former. I want to make everyone better. And that is actually your intent if you're knocking someone down a few pegs. It's actually to make them better.
Right.
Because we all know the fault of a great elite level star.
Right. Well,
they surround themselves
with yes men.
I've been
meaning to tell you something about what you... I'm just kidding.
Yeah, some of the guests I've had... Because trust me, I'm not
I was going to say about you.
I'm not
I was
the star.
making a joke.
Oh, trust me, everyone shits on me. I ain't the star.
That 5150 I saw, actually, I fucking hate it.
No, but the fault of every star...
I said nice things about it earlier.
But
the
fault of every star is surrounding themselves with yes men. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So then you lose the ability to hear honest criticism because everyone's afraid to tell you, your shit's
obviously
weak, bro.
The best point to be...
You're mailing it in. Yeah, that one's gone. We're on this one. Oh, is it the fly? Grab him. Flip it. Okay, here's your cup. Here's your coaster. Get him. We got him. Flip it. We got the fly. We got Jeff Goldblum. We got Jeff Goldblum. I'm going to put him in the freezer, and then we're going to let him go outside. That's Jeff Goldblum. Hold on. Force main cam.
Got the fucking fly.
Force main cam.
Oh, there he is. So you can see it.
Yep. We got Jeff Goldblum.
Yep. The Fly. That's a fucked up movie, dude. Ugh, that gives me nightmares. That movie.
Hold on.
You're one of my favorite actors!
I just hope he gets it.
So yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's this weird. So there are people who need to realize they're better than they are, and there are people who need to realize, like,
no, you got dues to pay, bitch.
Dude, because I have thought about this a lot. Like, and you know,
you're telling me.
Yeah, dude. I thought about it a lot
because this podcast has really made me think about everything I've said, every opinion I have, the way I evaluate talent, the way I appreciate talent. That one podcast.
Dude, I'm going to say it. The way that people think, oh, this is success and this is not success. No, dude. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter how big of a band you're in. It doesn't matter how long you've played. It doesn't matter
what genre.
Doesn't matter
in.
the genre. It doesn't matter the gear you have. Those things I just mentioned, they have no correlation with your skill level on whatever instrument you're playing. Like,
AKA
all
talent.
That stuff has no
talent,
dude. And again, I'll reiterate: you're following the band you play in, how long you've been playing, the gear you play. I think I missed one, but all that shit that people think matters. Like, I have a decent genre. I have a decent amount of followers right now. That does not tell me how good I'm playing. All that is that is giving me people to. All I'm looking for is, like, I want people to see my playing so that we can work together for lessons. They will support my music. Like, the things that actually matter with your playing. And one other one I'll add. Your faces that you add on when you play, if you're making faces, that doesn't make you better. Like,
you're talking the guitar faces.
You can fake faces.
The guitar faces.
And if you don't if you don't make faces, that doesn't make you worse. And it doesn't make if someone's playing going like that doesn't make them have better time. It doesn't give them better rhythm.
It might make you a better performer.
Dude,
but it doesn't make you a better player.
That I agree with. You're right.
But that's a huge difference.
Right. That's a huge difference.
Talking about.
You're right. It does make you a better performer, which might bring people in.
Player.
Yes, which is a different thing.
Completely different thing.
Where I do
attached at the hip, but two very. It's like you're looking at Siamese twins.
So there's an argument there where
they share organs.
Yes,
but they are not the same person.
Sure. So
no, I'm serious.
No, you're
I'm
right.
serious.
It's just funny.
An
You're
absurd analogy.
It's just funny. Like
they share organs, but they're not the same person.
You're right. You're right. So
there's two different souls. There's two different brains. There's two
the
different
entertainment
people.
Value is important.
This is the most extreme analogy we have ever made on this podcast. But this shit hits harder than anything we've talked about regarding music.
I completely agree. But the argument
you're helping
the argument
this podcast evolve.
The argument,
like a Siamese twin.
The argument there is that
that went too far. I crossed the line. I'm sorry, you guys.
The argument there is that entertainment is part of being a musician, which it is. It really is. But when we're chalking it down to, like, can you play a certain way? Can you do certain things? Are you like the problem right now is that video is included. Get rid of the video. Let's just have audio. Then your faces and your moving doesn't tell anyone anything. You know what I mean?
Like, does your record bang without a video?
Do you
lyrical graphics?
You want to know what actually matters? What actually matters? I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying this kind of like the world.
We're doing a thought experiment for the listeners that aren't watching. How much vibe we're having right now? For anyone we're not arguing.
What actually matters is where's your pocket? Where's your rhythm?
Yep.
What's your tone like? Is it good tone? What's your feel like? Which kind of goes with pocket and it goes with the rhythm. Also another thing too that doesn't matter. Knowledge of the instrument doesn't make you a better player. You can be very knowledgeable and sound like ass.
Absolutely.
You don't have to have the most knowledge. It's all,
and that's irrelevant to songwriter or performer.
Exactly. It's relevant to both. The other thing, the last thing,
or irrelevant. Relevant or irrelevant.
It's relevant, yeah. So
however you want to look at
there's probably some I'm missing, but another one is phrasing. Like, are you phrasing mature? Like, is the phrasing mature? Is it very like vocal? Is it fitting the style very well? Like, dude, you can get someone who doesn't make faces.
That's what.
Who doesn't
Kurt
have
Cobain
nice
did.
gear. Dude, you can have someone who doesn't make faces, doesn't
So
have
let's
nice
give him a
gear, doesn't have
contextual example.
any like knowledge of the fretboard, but good tone, good feel, great rhythm, and great phrasing. That's what makes a good musician, a good guitar player.
Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain.
Well,
right
Jimi
there.
Hendrix was an entertainer. He was, and so was Kurt Cobain.
But
they were entertainers.
But it was their phrasing. It was their tone. It was their expression.
Yes, so
it was all of those things that you just said.
Yep.
Because I can sit down and play an exact, perfectly noted and timed Kurt Cobain riff. Doesn't sound like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, and he's playing he's like an innovator of his genre, and so are a lot of those guys. Like
you can transpose. I'm not actually a fan of Kurt Cobain, but
yeah.
I actually don't even have. I have very little respect for him.
I have a hard time like.
But everyone reveres him, so
yeah.
I just use him as an example where everybody kind of gets it. Yeah. Like, okay, this is a guitar player who didn't shred,
right.
who didn't blow anyone's mind.
Which shredding is also not that's one thing that doesn't mean you're good. Shredding does not mean you're good.
Oh, bro, you're a fucking Tom Segura fan.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tom Segura does a version of Two Bears, One Cave on the same set called Tom Talks.
Okay.
And he had on one of the producers who did the old Beastie Boys shit.
9 o'clock.
He did the old Beastie Boys shit. Sabotage, fucking all that, right?
Yeah.
And he... oh my god, I should cite this now that we're referencing this, but I'm not going to. Bro, I'm telling you, like, this producer broke that shit down where you hear an elite level drummer play a 1 or a 2 bar loop, and then you hear a middling guitar player just fucking absolutely look at the guitar like you're nothing more than a paintbrush for my expression, and I will choose what you sound like. And he breaks that shit down and how they built those Beastie Boys tracks. I feel like that's kind of what we're talking about right now.
So what you're saying right now is there was a very talented, like, elite
artist
drummer playing simple stuff, but like a guitar player who didn't know shit playing like that iconic line.
Is that what you're saying? This is what I interpreted from it, is that it didn't matter the level of actual tangible skill you had on your respective instrument. It was more about, are you an artist who can perform and be captured on record?
Right.
And the Beastie Boys did that at multiple different levels from multiple different perspectives.
Right.
And they created one of the most iconic versions of American art that has ever been created.
Which, that, I completely agree with you, what you're saying. But when you say it that way, it actually like argues kind of my point.
That's why I brought it up, because it reinforces your point.
But no, it
I wasn't
argues
arguing against it. I was arguing for it.
Oh, but actually, it argues against it, because you just said you had an iconic drummer that's like, not iconic, but like a very talented drummer play really simple.
When I hear the original drummer playing what he's drumming, I go, "Oh, that dude's the shit." But they cut him off a bar or two in and just wrapped a loop.
Right.
But I hear a dope drummer.
Right. Well, but
it doesn't matter, because anybody
hears songwriting's another thing entirely.
Well, and anybody that hears the final product hears a version of something they would consider a hip hop beat, but it's like, no, that's a banging ass drummer slamming ghost notes in that motherfucker.
I think the thing that bothers me,
you gotta listen to this podcast. You have to hear this podcast with the isolated drum beats and the isolated guitar riffs and the way they looped them, the way they isolated them, and then re-put them together. So it's a combination of a great engineer, a great artist on guitar, a elite level drummer, a great fucking producer, all putting this whole package together that turns this thing into one of the most iconic pieces of American art ever created, called the Beastie Boys.
Right. So it's an interesting, it's very interesting. I think though all the stuff I just said, honestly, I've never really been so gung-ho about it until Instagram and TikTok came along, and everything was based more off of what you look like and how you present yourself.
Yeah, that's where you see these decent chick guitarists
or decent anyone
blowing up
because
and all their messages are "you're so good," and it's here's the thing is if I take out of the fact that you're a beautiful woman, you can't even make it into my band. And I'm just an average Minneapolis musician with a podcast, but you have 20, 30, 40,000 followers on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. But here's the thing is, in the real world, you're still not able to make it into somebody like me.
Yeah.
A fucking ground level jobber who used to make good money and is now trying to do his own deal,
dude.
Where we pay a few $100s per gig.
Dude, I see
you see what I'm getting at here?
I see it, dude. I see it.
But because you're gorgeous and you're kind of good, you got 100,000 followers on Instagram,
dude. And I've had this conversation with friends.
It's silly,
dude. I've had this conversation with friends before, and it's been the same thing. Oh yeah, there's some girl who's gorgeous who has all these followers, dude. I've seen it with young dudes who are like statues. They look like Greek statue. The same thing happens with dudes like that. There's this couple dudes. There's a lot of dudes I've seen where it's they're 19, 20, and they're jacked, and they're extremely attractive dudes. Same exact thing happens, and it's this kind of
dude, you're
mediocre.
Okay, you're not making it into an average Minneapolis band.
No, and it happens
in this town.
Dude,
you're not even qualified.
The main thing is, it's not.
But he plays with his shirt off.
That's dude, or exactly. There'll be some jack dude playing something, and he'll be like, "Hey, here's a song. Can you name this song?" And plays fucking Sweet Child of Mine.
Or he goes like this. Dude, it's just in case you guys didn't catch on.
Yeah.
I had to finish the
but it's the same. It's these clickbaity here's the thing. I get it. Here's
no, we all get it at this point.
If I posted,
we've beaten this horse to death.
If I posted that, if I was a jacked,
comment if you disagree.
If I was 20 and I was extremely attractive and jacked, and I was hey guys, here's me shredding, and then I got fucking 100,000 likes, I'd be I gotta make more of that. You know what I mean? I get it. I would be yes. So I don't blame them for wanting to continue to do it, but the thing that it's not them that annoys me necessarily, it's the people who are this is good. This is good.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm no, it's not.
It's what you talked about.
It's fine.
It's what you talked about though earlier, to bring this back. There's this community on internet, not just Instagram, but the internet, that is will positively reinforce the shittiest talent out there to give them literal delusions of grandeur.
I agree. I mean, if Charlie Engen ever sees this, he will agree with me 100%. I'm not meaning to call him out, but we've had this conversation so many times because
shout out to Charlie.
Yeah,
he did say he would come and do the podcast, but it's a timing issue. So
once they go on tour again.
And we're gonna find out how and when. Yeah, and, it might happen. It's gonna happen eventually. But he did say,
like I said, I don't
shout out to Charlie.
I don't want to hate.
Love you, buddy.
I don't want to hate on the people who are doing it, because it's part of me is I mean, you're that's great. You're doing well with this stuff. I'm I don't want to wish. I don't know, man. There's that part of me where it's like, there's that teacher in me. It's like, you're doing well. That's great. Like, great. Like, I'm happy you're doing well. Like, whatever. Like, but then there's that part of me where it's like, why do people think because someone has like a good camera and they're playing songs, that they're like the epitome of what it is to be a good musician? And I don't know how to fix that, and I don't know how to like where to make that.
I do, but we're not going to talk about it on the podcast.
Where to correct?
I do.
Where to correct that? You know what I mean? No, like
bro, you know how light bulbs go off?
You're like,
a comet just struck.
A comet strikes Instagram headquarters. That's how we do it.
No, straight up, like, no, I get it. No, I know I'm not giving this intellectual property away, because everything you just hit struck me like a comet, and I get it.
It's not, like
There's
I said, it's
many
just
fucking, and still right now, like, literal fucking, like, switches are being flipped where I'm going, vertical, here's an idea, all this, still to this very second right now, I'm going, nope.
It comes down to it, like,
I can fix that, but we're going to do this off the podcast, and the closest thing I'm going to say on this is we're going to build a community and a network.
There you go.
There's an exchange idea here, and the rest of you who don't understand what I'm saying, tough shit, fuck you. Anybody who does understand what I'm saying, good for you. Do your deal. Take this idea, run with it, start your own community.
Yeah, it comes down.
Because I already know exactly what I'm going to say to you the moment we end this podcast. Yeah, we got to wrap this up.
My dogs have been alone.
Do you guys
for
have
about
any
5
questions?
hours.
If so, throw them in the chat right now. We're coming up close to the end. We're hitting we literally have just done 3 full hours.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up in the next 15, 20 minutes.
I have to pee again, so we might as well just wrap it up soon here.
Yeah, we got one more song to play. Why don't we do that right now? We'll play a song. You go take a leak. If you guys got any questions, comments, anything like that, throw them in now. We'll get to them. Yeah, let me throw up this main cam, media player. Third link. Let's go, baby.
Jack Gardner.
Oh shit! I lost the fucking. Okay, there we go.
Is it off?
No, we're still going, but I frickin'. No, I literally just forgot.
Frackin' left it on this page of all these videos.
Yeah, I literally just forgot how to get back
and The Good Life and Mateus Asado.
Maybe it's this button here that says...
Oh, there's Jack Gardner and Rick Graham.
Maybe it's this button that says flip cams. Oh, wait, no, that just brings up that one. Let's press it again.
Nope.
No, that didn't work.
Yeah, like they have a note on there that says talk less.
I've been doing a better job at that.
Talk less? That's funny.
Yeah.
Is it the first one?
That's the thing that happens. Dude, why can't I fucking figure out... Oh, you know what? Let's just do this. I bet you that's it. There it is, baby! We're back. The audio had no idea. For people that listen to this back on audio, they have no idea what just happened. Yeah. They're just like, okay, the song ended. Why are you guys acting so confused?
So what I want you to do at some point,
like, why are these guys morons?
You should listen to that, and we should. I want to see if you can tell. I want to see if you can tell which one is me and which one's Jack, because it's back and forth.
You want to do that again? That one again?
Well, there's the very end. There's a back and forth.
I think I can actually do this now because OBS made an update. Okay, so we're going to play this one again.
No, not the whole thing. Just
fair.
Yeah.
But do you know the time?
Can you talk during the...
Yeah.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, and I can turn it down and all that.
Yeah, do that. Good.
Okay, so here's what I want. Do you know what time... We're going to bring it up full volume and then give me a moment to... pretend I'm a producer, which is why you guys should... We're going to
see if you can tell which one is me and which one is Jack Gardner, who is the guest soloist. We go back and forth about
I won't be able to
6
tell.
times? No, I'm going to see if you can.
I won't be able to tell.
Well, I want you to try.
You want me to try, or you want your own fans and listeners to try?
No, I want you to try.
Oh, I'm going to fail. Okay, so we're going to turn it back on. Okay, I think I can pull this off. So it is back
and forth. It's me, it's like... Damn it, I just gave it away.
Okay, I think I can pull this off. And we got to bring the PIP on.
So it does go back and forth. It's not the same we switch back and forth, and see if you can tell when the switch happens.
Okay.
And go like about halfway through.
All right, first things first, we got to turn the music down.
Check. I think that's me.
No, you're fine.
Oh.
We're going to turn the music down.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah. So go.
Does that seem like a good volume for everyone, including the listeners?
I think so.
Tell me if we need because we're going to commentate over this one. So tell me if either the music or our voices are too loud. And
go about 2/3 the way through this video.
You know, it's amazing because we can actually do this now. Seriously, like a month or two ago, we wouldn't have been able to do this because now I have the ability to grab that and say interact.
Okay.
So where do you want it?
Go about 2/3 the way through, like right around there. Yep. There you go. Can you click there, or is it going to let you? Oh, there you can drag it.
It's fucking
it's like loading. It's like buffering.
Well, the people can't see what we're looking at right now. We're looking at a behind-the-scenes production screen, so they don't realize how small that line looks.
Click there, now press play. See where that's at. Here it is.
This is what you want?
No. It'll be after this. It's pretty close. We're like 30 seconds away.
Okay, so when you want us to judge, you got to hit pause.
No,
you got to tell us when we need to start thinking.
Okay. So I start with a melody up here. I'll give you that.
So right now there's nobody else other than you.
So there's a melody. Solos are about to start. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. First solo. Is it me or is it him?
That's not you.
Not me? Okay. Same solo. All right, next solo is 1, 2, 3 here. Me or him?
Oh, that's him. The first one was you.
Okay. Now from here, let me know when it switches. See if you can tell when it switches.
Right there.
Okay. Is that me or him?
That's still him.
Here's another solo.
Oh, that's you now? Or that's reverse. I got those two backwards. It's one of the two.
It's one of the two. Oh, yeah.
But knowing where the switches are, because he either went back to back in those two spots or you two flipped. Okay, I've lost it.
All right, go back here. I'll tell you exactly what's happening.
I completely lost the ability. I can hear two different guitar players, but I am losing. Now I see why you're
there.
doing.
Yeah, right there. Oh, earlier. I'll tell you when it happens. There, so keep it there. So this is melody. This is me. This is all me. And here's Jack. The Jack now.
Yeah, I knew that was him.
You can hear the difference a little bit in the tone.
Because he goes...
We have we have very similar styles.
But he does this up bend in every...
Yep.
I heard that the first time.
Yeah.
I could tell that's not you. So that one I was right.
Still Jack. Here's me again.
Yep. See, now this is where I thought it might have been him. Still. Nope. This is you.
And here's Jack again.
Yeah, he attacks everything on the up.
Okay.
All his approaches when he decides to go into
and
something.
Here's back to me again.
Yeah, you attack everything on the down. Yep. There's a picking style.
And here's back to Jack.
Yeah, everything he does is on the up. Yep.
And then me.
Yep, there's so much on the up for him. He cares so much about the up.
I think he has a different...
His entire signature
tone.
is on the up.
Well, he's got a different tone.
It's a picking and a bending when he goes into something.
Yep.
So
shit, I have to take off here.
Okay, we'll wrap this up in a minute. But okay, so his style as a guitar player, when I listen to that,
Jack's a phenomenal guitar player.
Flip these cams. Hold on, how do I do that?
It was
flip cams.
I think it was the second one in from the middle, or the middle first one on your thing.
Jesus Christ!
Remember you clicking on it? It was either the first middle or the second middle.
Turn that one off. Turn this one off.
In the middle row, it was either the first or the second.
No, it's none of these, dude.
I thought it was.
There we go.
Oh, well.
All right, we got it. We got it figured out. But yeah, no, everything he does is on an up. Everything's
he does a lot of bends. He's very...
But it's not just that. Like, I literally hear everything he listens to. I'm not talking shit.
Oh, no, he's great.
I'm not even
Jack's
complimenting.
amazing.
I'm not doing either. I'm saying as an artist, I can clearly hear, and I knew for a couple of those, but I could also start hearing you two were intentionally trying to mock each other.
Well, so my solos were recorded.
It started to fuck with me, but I could hear he does something either literally on a back pick on it. He literally does something like that or he's bending, or he's down picking on a pre-bend. So that he's doing something
like pre-bends. I could see the pre-bends. Yeah, for sure.
He's either down striking on a pre-bend, or he's up striking on a bend.
Yeah, I can see the pre-bends happening.
He gets this very distinct cadence within his style.
Yep.
Even as you two are playing off each other and mocking each
So
other.
I recorded all the solos.
That's my assessment.
Yeah, I recorded all the solos and I sent it to him, and he did a really good job. Jack is probably, in my opinion, one of people under 30 years old. He's one of the best on the planet. Like, he is absolutely...
And we didn't even talk about the kid with the steal your girl energy. With the mullet and the glasses.
Oh, that kid's under 20. He's under 20, dude.
That girl's...
He's like
that
19.
Dude's gonna steal all your girls.
Dude, he has no... Oh, yeah. Jack is... But as far as
I
like...
thought it was Max.
No, Jack is my buddy who just played there.
Yeah,
Max is phenomenal.
We're not even talking about the Max kid with the steal your girl energy.
Fuck that kid. He's so good.
Dude,
no, I mean, I really like his playing.
He's got a mullet. He's skinny like me. He wears glasses like he was born in the 70s, and he will steal yo girl.
Anyway, I gotta take off.
The Rock, he's stealing your girl. Plug your shit. Ideal Music Lessons.
Ideal Music Lessons anywhere in the Twin Cities. We do in home and online. We have a lot of teachers, so it doesn't just have to be me. It can be anyone. We come to your house if you want us to. Otherwise,
grab that fly on your mic.
Is he on there? Oh my God! Kidding me? Nope, didn't get him.
You almost got him.
Yeah, we do in-home, we do online, and it doesn't have to be just lessons through me. I have plenty of people who work for me. And anywhere in the Twin Cities, suburbs, Blaine down to Prior Lake, over to Stillwater, over to
across
Minnetonka.
the globe, you guys do online.
We do online, in-home,
if
around
you're in
here.
Hungary, Singapore, China, Russia.
Yep, and I do online lessons myself. If you want them with me, you have to go to MikeSalow.com. or lessonswithmike.com. Either one, you'll get to me. Or Ideal Music Lessons, you'll get to me if you specifically request me. With Ideal Music Lessons, I do have a partner who, we have other teachers. So if MikeSalow.com, if you want lessons with me specifically. But yeah, man. Cool. This is fun.
If they want to download your album,
MikeSalow.com. /music or MikeSalow.com/shop, and you'll be, or even go to my Bandcamp. I would prefer if you went to my website, because Bandcamp takes a chunk and my website does not, and it's actually I get notified easier through my website. Like I notice the notifications, because when I get the Bandcamp notifications, sometimes I miss them. But the website ones I get right away. So go to my website, MikeSalow.com/music or MikeSalow.com/shop, and you'll see it.
And if you are on Spotify or iTunes or any of that kind of shit, it's The Hunt. Mike Salow.
SALOW.
Yep. The Hunt is currently available for streaming. Also, everybody, thank you for hanging out with us and chatting and bullshitting. If you haven't already, please hit like, subscribe, and you can join the Patreon to help us keep this thing going.
Fly in a glass.
We also have a fly in a glass. We did that tonight. Achievements. So go to patreon.com/Jared Singer live to see us catch more flies and glasses live on the podcast. Or don't hit like, subscribe, or join the Patreon. I can't fucking tell you what to do, but if you give a shit, you should do those things. So that's a good night. That's a great way to hit this outro. Awkward and super passive aggressive, like a true Minnesotan would do. Love you guys. All right, we're out of here.